Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hope you are well. I hope you are doing fantastic. Welcome to this show. We are about to have just about now. Karibu sana, jiunge nasi, tunayo show kali, show fiti. Ni kumoto tu sana huku nje wadau. Huku nje ni kumoto tu sana. I'm telling you, karibuni sana watu wa USA, karibuni sana watu wa Kenya, karibuni sana Wakenya mnaonitazama, karibuni kwa hii show. Ninao show fiti, show kali, show ambayo ndio tu inaanza sasa hivi, ndio tu tumeanza. Ninao show fiti tu sana, karibuni tu sana. Welcome ladies and gentlemen, I have a great show lined up for you. Watu wa Kenya Kwanza mko, watu wa Azimio mko, hii show ni yenyu. Show yenyu nayo ndo hii show ya leo ni yenyu nyote. Karibuni sana watu wa Kenya Kwanza. Huku nje mnafanywa ile kitu. Wakenya hawataki jokes. I'm telling you, William Ruto alionyeshwa story kibao kule Meru, na leo bwana Musalia Mudavadi amefanyiwa ile kitu kule Siaya. Wakenya hawataki jokes. No more nonsense, as someone told me. Hakuna tena cha jokes. No more nonsense. It's now back to business. Ni kuambiana ukweli. Ni time ile Musalia alisema wakati wa earthquake ama earthquake ya kwamba tuambiane ukweli. Sasa ni wakati wa Kenya Kwanza kuambiwa ukweli na Wakenya. What do you make of the booing that has been happening? We first saw it in Bomet. When Churchill tried to speak, he was shown true colors from Kenyans, and that momentum has now begun to really garner some momentum. Kenyans don't want to be told lies anymore. Kenyans don't want to be cheated. Kenyans want to be told the truth. Wakenya wanataka kuambiwa ukweli. They don't want to be pampered with a lie. They would rather be hurt by the truth, but be massaged than lies. And I'm telling you, Kenyans wameamua. Leo Musalia Mudavadi tried to speak somewhere. He had even to change his speech, his tone, his address strategy. You know how he was addressing the crowd, because watu huku nje hawataki mchezo. It's no longer the jokes we used to entertain. Mr. Politician cannot just come and tell us sweet nothings. Huku nje ni kumoto. But karibu sana, karibu sana. I'll be showing you very many things that have happened today. I hope you are well. Welcome to this show. Ukiwa unajiunga nasi hapa mbashara Africa 24, karibu sana. We have a great show lined up for you. Asante sana Wakenya kwa kutufanya kuwa watu wakuu hapa nchini na mbali na Kenya. All right, thank you so much for making this show number one. All right, okay, I have a good one. For you. Let me know where this show is finding you. Nijuze hii show inakupata ukiwa wapi. Watu wa Amerikani, karibuni sana. Watu wa Canada, karibuni kwa hii show. Watu wa Australia, karibuni kwa hii show. Watu wa Jamaica, karibuni. Watu wa Dubai, karibuni sana. Watu ambao wanatazama mbali na hapa karibu, karibuni tu sana kwa hii show. Nijuze unanitazama ukiwa wapi. Wacha tuwe na show kali, na pia unisabahi hapo kwa comment section. Just send in your greetings, and equally let me know where this is finding you hapo kwa comment section. I have a good one. I have enough panelists joining me tonight to discuss what could be happening to Kenya Kwanza. Wanafanya ile kitu kokote waendapo. This is a crowd ambao hii ni chama ambayo when they would go to any place, the crowds were mammoths. They had humongous gathering. Walikuwa na huge crowds gathering every time they would hold meetings. The crowds would be what we call watu kibao, as much as wengine wangekuwa wanasema they were ferrying crowds and everything, but watu walikuwa wanajitokeza, and wakijitokeza they would sing praises to William Ruto. But in Meru, they showed us how to do it. They did not take any they were not taking any casualties. Walikuwa wanavamia yeyote ambaye hawakuwa wanataka kusikizana na yeye. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it is about to get even hotter. Today, Musalia Mudavadi had even to try and tell us, unajua ni aje, very, very soon, ile soon and very soon, kutakuwa kuzuri. Soon and very soon kutakuwa kuzuri, lakini to some other interesting news, the president has left the country. The president has gone to Italy. All right, so the president again is not in our country. He has left for Italy. I'll be telling you about that. So saizi prezo hayuko, ameenda safari and probably hata anachekisho, yeah. So prezo save journey save journey ukienda, but what a show. What a show, because I know this show is watched both here at home and far away. All right, karibuni sana watu wa Kenya Kwanza, karibuni watu wa Azimio, karibuni popote unajiunga nasi. Hii show yako ambayo imeanza naye kakangu Alex. Pia wewe nitakuonyesha jinsi ambavyo Alex alijiunga nami kwa show. I'll show you how he did it. All right, now to join me in the studio, I'll be showing you just now, but before I even do that, I'll be doing one or two clips just to spice up the show kidogo, and then maybe we can begin our discussions. But karibu sana Wakenya, I think mmefika mahali mmeamua sasa enough is enough. No more jokes, no more dealing or rather handling the government with kids gloves. Ni wakati ambapo mnasema mambo jinsi yalivyo, mumeamua kama mbaya ni mbaya, kama ni mbaya mbaya. Now listen to this, and I want you to listen to the first words, especially to the first part of this intro of this news bulletin. All right,
politics in the controversial housing levy and the country's state of the economy dominated political conversations across the political divide as each side put up a case for their stand.
Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi urged Kenyans to exercise patience as the government implements policies that he says will eventually revive the economy. Mudavadi defending the president against criticism over the various policies that have been seen to burden an already overwhelmed population. He spoke even as Safina Party leader Jimmy Wanjigi continued to hit out at the Ruto administration over the housing levy. Chematai Goin reports.
With the government remaining under the sharp focus of Kenyans over what are turning out to be unpopular policies and decisions, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi came close to being shouted down as he called for patience when he represented the president at a church function in Bondo, Siaya County.
There is no walk in the park. Tutaumia, lakini we shall succeed. There is hope at the end of the road. Hiyo sawa sawa. And I like this debate. I like the debate because it means that we are all alive to what is happening. And I can tell you that we are going to work through the difficult times, and you will see the difference.
Seemingly reading the mood on the ground, he resorted to pacify the crowd, who in the end was still not convinced.
Hivi karibuni, we shall be surprising you with some very important news.
All right. Nakwambia iliwaka. I'll be playing you ile yenye unedited. Hii iko edited kidogo, of course, to save face, but kuliwaka. Kulikuwa kumoto bwana. The man had to change the speech. Ilikuwa kubaya. Kulikuwa kunoma sana, Musalia na aliitwa vizuri, aliitwa na jamaa David Owalo, alimuita vizuri sana. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding as we welcome one Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Cabinet Secretary. Karibu sana mkubwa, mheshimiwa moja. People clapped. And Musalia walked in, akaanza speech vizuri taratibu, all right? Aka explain, we are doing well, la la la, and where no sooner had he begun saying jinsi tunafaa tuumie kidogo lakini kutakuwa kuzuri. Kenyans wakamwambia buda boss, mumekuja muno. Hii historia kuambia tungoje 1 month, 3 years, 2 years, hapana. It's now time mfanye job. Your narrative, at give us time, give us time. It shall be bad for 1 year, it shall be bad for 2 years. He tried your script. Makosa. As our famous DJ would call it. It was it was wrong move that he did today. I'm telling you, Kenyans, Kenyans embarrassed one Musalia Wycliffe. He had to change the story. Una imagine nimeanza show tu hivi mnivamie mpaka ibidi tu ni change vile. But I'm telling you, Wakenya around hawataki jokes. In Meru, they did the same. I'll be showing you what they did in Meru. The president on several occasions had to calm the crowd down because the intensity on the crowd ilikuwa moto sana. In fact, the president had to go to the levels of saying, mimi hii makelele staki, hii makelele ni ya watu wa Azimio. Hii makelele hapana. Hii makelele ni ya watu wa Azimio. And I'm telling you, ustake ona, but zaidi yote, welcome to this show. I have a great conversation about to happen here at Afrique 24. Kindly consider subscribing and making Afrique your #1 channel. All right. Okay. Here we go. I have with me two gentlemen who have already joined me. Now, hapo kwa comment section kuko na link nimekutumia. Hiyo link inakutuma moja kwa moja hadi StreamYard. Ukifika StreamYard unafanya nini? Asha mic, asha camera, andika jina, alafu una click enter. Unakuwa miongoni mwa wale ambao wana participate kwa hii show. Kwa sababu raundi wa Kenya wameamua. Hatutaki jokes No more kubebwa the politicians will not carry us babies. They will not carry us babies any longer because Kenyans have decided, tell us the truth, do you the work that we assigned you to do, leave alone my promises, leave alone we shall do, to tender, to leave all that alone, fanya job. Time is ticking. Mwaka moja imeisha, mwezi wa kwanza wa mwaka wa pili ndio huyo umekatika. We are headed towards the next general election. Azimio wameanza kujipanga, or rather do I say ODM imeanza kujipanga, watu wameanza kujipanga. So the more the government is wasting time, the more wanaanguka makesi huku kotini, the more time inakimbia. Na huku nje bwana ni kumoto. Wakenya hataki jokes. All right, I'll be equally talking about the children, the many children ambao hawajaingia shule. We'll be talking about haki ya kina madada, haki yao. We'll be talking about that just about now, and equally many other things ambazo zimekuwa zikihappen Kenya. So keti in ile show unaka, una pause, una relax, una nice tu, grab a plate of popcorns and nice tunaposonga. All right, okay, I have with me Mr. G, and equally I have with me Bwana Alex. All right, Alex VP. Alex, good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hapa ni afternoon.
Hapo ni afternoon. Karibu sana kwa show. Welcome. Hope you're well.
I'm well and fantastic.
All right. What do you make of this seemingly unbecoming reaction by the crowds towards the president and his team? Today it was Musalia Mudavadi. Over the weekend, the president really suffered such wrath from angry processions from the people.
You know, Wameru, the Merus and Kisses are like brothers and sisters. And niliona hata Kisi wakati alikuja huko, that time hata Simba aliongea akasema saa ingine hii nice ni kitu mbaya. Lakini let me tell you what has made this happen. It is the rallies that Raila had all over Kenya. Sijui kama ataenda Ukambani ama anaenda Nairobi next. But hizi rallies baba amefanya, especially a coast, was high powered volume, especially the last one at Mombasa. Now people have the courage to criticize impunity poignantly. because you cannot lie to us that you won the election and then you are having such impunity that you don't even know what a government does. These people are busy doing what? They are busy stealing. Because budget yake ni saa hii imeanza, lakini pesa zilipitishwa na Uhuru. Remember Muturi calling us to discuss the finance bill when he was a speaker. So what, you know, people have reached a boiling point. And when you reach a boiling point, there is no return back. Wacha nikuambie saa hii, baba akiita maandamano utaiona ni maandamano hujaiona. Kwa sababu watu wanataka hii maandamano sasa ni watu wa Central kuliko watu wote. Watu wa Central, Kioni amejaribu, Martha Karua amejaribu kuconvince baba, but baba knows what he is doing. So what I make of it is simple, that people are sick, are tired and sick, you know, vis-a-vis uongo ambao inaendelea. So my advice to Ruto is this: you are not reaching 2027. You know, I don't see it. I don't see it, and if it does, because nilisikia Mombasa wakiongea 2027 ndio tutapanga. Hao watu hawajui plan ya baba. Plan ya baba iko very simple. Alipitia nchi mzima, ni Nairobi tu hajaenda. Na sijui kama Central walikuwa na mikutano zao kivyao na Jubilee. Nairobi sasa ndio meeting itakuwa kubwa kabisa kuliko yote. Na utaona watu vile watakuja wakamkundi, because it's not about Azimio anymore. And I ask Baba avunje hii ujinga inaitwa Azimio. If they can't join him and form one party as we did in 2002, tena Ruto anaweza kutufanyia ukora yake. Unaelewa? And you had in Mombasa what they told us, that in Mombasa we lost the seats because Wiper inang'ang'ania na wengine wanang'ang'ania ambao wako within the ODM party. So tunataka to form one coalition. If they don't want, wacha waende, because they don't have numbers. I tell you, hata Wakikuyu this time watapigia Raila kura directly, because they have realized he is the only person in Kenya who has been able to stop Ruto. Now, about the court things, nilikuwa unajua nimeogopa sana kuwa Martha Koome ameongea na nani na Ruto wanaenda kupitisha hizo vitu zake zote. Tulikuwa tumeogopa sana, lakini inakaa Martha Koome knew what she was doing. Martha Koome went and told, ni kama alienda akamtell off, and many Kenyans did not know his reason to go there is to tell him off, and so that hizi cases zikikatwa awache ku criticize nini government. Unaona vile hizo vitu zimewaumiza vile zilikatawa na koti, especially the housing levy. So Kenyans are relieved a little bit. So, but what we should do is to tell them to return the money they had taken from Kenyans for how many months? 2 months, ama ni ngapi?
Ni mingi, from August, from July, wali backdate to July. Yeah, so from July last year. Those are several months, bwana.
And you know, you are taking from civil servants all over and from corporations. Unaelewa? So kitu sijui kama koti ilisema watu warudishiwe pesa zao. Koti ilisema hivyo?
Koti haikusema turudishiwe, lakini akina Jimmy Wanjigi bwana anaitwa Eugene Wamalo wanadai hii pesa inafaa irudishwe. But we will be seeing what happens with that. But I'm telling you, shikilia tu hapo kidogo Alex, I'm coming to you kwa sababu pia tuko na Mr. G kwa show. Be coming to you Alex just about now, all right? But pia wewe unaweza jiunga nasi kwa show kupitia link ambayo nimekutumia hapo kwa comment section. Ni link ambayo inakutuma StreamYard. Ukifika StreamYard, andika jina, all right? Eka jina lako jinsi unavyoitaka, iwe jina fupi, iwe initials, iwe jina la mtaani, iwe ni jina la kitu ingine, whatever you want to call yourself, all right? And then hakikisha umewasha mic, umeweka camera on, alafu unaingia ndani ya show, all right? Okay. Thank you so much. As well, I'm equally joined by Mr. G. Mr. G, kuna nini bwana? Watu hawajoke na gava.
Yeah, unajua kuna kitu moja huyu jamaa alijisahau. Kuna kitu moja Ruto alijisahau na hiyo uongo yake. Kwa ile kitabu ya 48 Laws of Power kuna ile number 19. Number 19 nasema do not offend the wrong person. And this guy kwa uongo wake ya kudanganya watu kila siku alifikiria kuwa atakuwa anatumia ujanja kila siku akidanganya watu na watu wakubaliane naye. Hakujua kuwa a time comes wakati jamaa anaamuka they'll come for him. Nani alikuwa anafikiria kuwa in Meru watu wanaweza piga kelele, wanaweza kumheckle in Meru? Nani alikuwa anafikiria kama inaweza fanyika? No one ever imagined. But sasa kwa sababu watu wamechoka, watu wamechoka, and this guy bado anajipiga kifua akifikiria kuwa ataendelea kuintimidate watu. Watu wale wamefikia sasa ni point ambao wanaenda kumtoa wenyewe. Akiendelea hivyo watamtoa wenyewe kwa sababu sasa hii watu wameona ni kama huyu jamaa alikuwa anadanganya watu. Alikuwa tu anadanganya watu. Si mtu ambao alikuwa anaelewa kama alikuwa anafanya. He wanted votes, Oda alipata votes na ameshindwa kugovern the country. Hakuwa na plan. And he used lies kudanganya watu kwa alikuwa na plan na kusaidia hii Kenya kuna economy, but they were just lies. Hakuwa na any plan. That's why pia watu washachoka. Hawataka story yake. That's why unaona MPs, unapata senator wa UDA wanalilia mbele ya baba wakiomba msamaha. Wanasema wasamehewe kwa ile makosa ambayo alifanya. Most of these senators, most of these MPs, most of these leaders wamekuwa disassociating themselves with the UDA. Wengine wanalalamika wanasema hata wataenda motoni kwa sababu ya kujiassociate na hii UDA. Kwa sababu gani? Ani wameshangaa na wana feel guilty. These things watu wanaumia lakini sasa these guys hawaoni. But that law in the 48 laws of power ambayo inasema do not offend the wrong person. Huyu jamaa amejisahau. And it will work against him.
So tayari ameoffend the wrong people na watu wamemuonyesha sisi ni wale tulikuwa kwa ofisi, so kindly don't joke with us, ama vipi?
Jex, in our constitution tunaambiwa the supreme power iko kwa kina nani? Supreme power iko kwa kina nani in our constitution? Iko kwa wananchi. So he has just offended a wrong person. Hakujua hiyo. Hako blind.
Alright, na Musalia Mudavadi leo alijaribu kuongelesha watu kule Kisumu, kule Siaya rather, na alianza vizuri, alibonga kidogo lakini wakati unga ulizidi maji, watu waliamua kuitoa jikoni. Wakakataa kuendelea kumsikiza, kelele ikazidi. I'll be playing especially from the crowd because what I'm playing is from the main camera, but from the crowd what people were saying, the heckling hapa kwa crowd, people telling him acha uongo, others shouting Raila Odinga, others telling him, you know what, you guys mumetuzoea na uongo, all right? So what do you make of him being booed despite him trying to cool the crowd that ni kubaya wadau? Mr. G, are you there? All right. Okay,
yes,
I think Mr. G
I'm around.
Yeah. What do you make of Musalia kufanywa ile kitu?
this is just what I was saying, Mr. Jex. Unajua Bondo ni kwa kina baba. Yeah, and those people respect baba so much. Sasa hawa jamaa Kenya na realize wale jamaa waweze kubaliana na uongo kwa sababu
oh my, uko na mshiki bwana G.
No, wanajua kwa hawa watu ni waongo.
Hatukupati kabisa unakatika.
Yeah.
Mr. G unakatika
my network is poor, I think. But I was saying that in Bondo.
Oh.
I was saying that in Bondo hawa watu hawawezi kubaliana na ujinga, hawawezi kufuatana, hawawezi kubaliana na mtu ambaye anakuja kudanganya. Wanamjua kwa ni mwongo. Wanajua kwa watu wa UDA waliingia kwa power through propaganda. So wakati anasimama, sio wakati alisimama akaanza kuongea propaganda, sijati mtaumia kidogo, lakini kuna wakati ikifika mtaendelea. That is where things zinaanza ku mess up. Kwa sababu wanajua these are lies, these are propaganda ambayo alikuwa anatumia kila wakati. And people should just wake up. These people wameshindwa ku govern this country. Hawana any solution in our economy. Hawana any solution in anything that will help us to come out of this problem that tuko sahi. So wasiendelee kudanganya kwa tuwapatie time. Which time can we give them again? Time ambayo tumapatia imetosha. Time ambayo tumapatia imeonyesha kuwa they cannot govern our country. They cannot help us to come out of this crisis ambayo tuko sahi ya economy. That's why unapata watu wataki upuzi. Yeah.
All right. All right. Na kwa requested hapa nyuma kwa backstage mwashe cameras because you are the guys who are making me to have this kind of a screen. So allow me to ask you to have a camera so that I can have you in large portions. All right. Okay, I see wengi wana comment. Namwona good year Akondani, asante sana good year kwa kuwa part of the show. Unasema hivi, hi Alex, nice to hear from you. Wish you all the best with recovery. All my prayers towards you. All right. Okay, I see many mnatujoin hapo kwa comment section. Equally naona wengi mnatutazama. Asante sana. If you're joining us in all our platforms, asante sana. All right. Thank you so much. Let us continue with the conversation. What is happening? What is happening huko nje? Wa Kenya mumeamua aje? Kenyans mumeamua aje? I'm sure right now I'll be joined by Rectship ingia kwa studio, ndio link nimekutumia. Okay, Penya Gaka, what do you make the president kuwa heckled, or people who were with him wamekuwa heckled to the level that the president even had to intervene? All right, what do you make of Musalia leo amekuwa heckled mpaka akashindwa kuongea? He had to change the way he was talking. What do you make of Kenyans now reacting to these politicians?
Habari Jex, ni kubaya. It's hard life, ndio watu wanakuwa heckled, lakini ikifika kama at the end of the year, kuanzia next year, hiyo itakuisha, lakini vile maisha yamekuwa ngumu, I mean that will continue. Huko Meru walisema ni huyu Kawira Mwangaza ndio alikuwa na kuwa heckled na sio Ruto, lakini we are not sure of it. So waje tuendelee tu mpaka 2027, alafu vile tunasemaga, I mean like I always tell you, mukishinda mushinde, lakini some of us are wondering why is it today that Mzee Oginga Odinga, Raila Odinga alisema it is okay for the housing to continue, that the courts has refused. So ni kitu ambao it's a debate that is continuing. Na waje niambia Alex kidogo kwa kimombo. Alex, mungi nambu ateka ikagajita kansiria mungi no minto. Lakini ningende kumwaka kwa amini muti wiki hoja.
Tunakusupport. Mungi no mino kasirete.
Kwa ina alika ikagajita ngeti saini na
nitawapea namba zenyu mwex.
Okay. So hiyo tu Jakes sasa kusema ya kwamba huyu amekuwa heckled,
We are so international to go that way.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
know Alex
yeah.
understands when I tell you it's with all
Somebody clearly,
due.
somebody clearly. Yeah.
All right, all right. And we go on, we go on. Alex, before I come to you, I want you to listen to this clip. It's the audience kwanza wanakuacha
But
upande stage.
Jex,
Hmm?
before
Yes,
that clip,
yes.
before that
Mm-hmm.
clip, there's something that Nyagaka amesema, ati baba amesema aendelee na nyumba. That is a wrong statement. That is wrong. Hakusema hivyo.
Mm-hmm. What did Papa say?
Hakuna mali baba amesema kuwa aendelee na hiyo kazi ambayo anafanya. Kwanza in fact ame condemn sana. Baba condemned akasema mambo ya housing at least angeza kukaa na wale watu. Unaona kama Changamwe. Watu wakupewa any notice, watu wakupewa anything, amekuja amebomoa nyumba za watu. Watu wako na familia, wako na watoto wadogo, wako na hajatoa vitu kwa nyumba. Wanabomoa. What baba said ni kuwa huyu mtu at least angekaa na hao watu awaongeleshe kwa kuja bomoa nyumba. Lakini sasa hii mambo ya kuja kubomoa baba said
At least he was positive.
yeah.
At least mzee Raila alikuwa positive.
Unasikia na kujua nasema unaweza kuwa paranoid. Sio unaanza kupiga maktepu kwake hapo nje.
Sasa
all right, Alex, are you in a position to speak to us?
Yes, I'm in a position to speak now. So
all right, fantastic. Now I want you to see how it all begins. The leaders are allowed to stand, or rather to climb the podium or the pulpit or the hoist ground, and then after they begin to speak kidogo tu, the intolerance in Kenyans, wacha tu. Kenyans hawataki jokes. Listen to this, for example.
Kimbilia, lakini nitanyorosha. Tuko na mama ambaye anaitwa Kailemia, mama wetu wa county, jameni, mumpigie makofi.
Yangu ni rahisi, ni kukuja kuambia president wetu karibu anga nivo kire ito ndewenu ambovo kire. Haya, nakuja kuambia president akuje. Hapa ni kwetu president, hapa ni kwetu. Hawa watu wa wanasema hapa hivi kwa tumeagana na mjumbe wa hapa hii maneno ile ya housing ni muhimu sana kwa sababu tunataka hawa watu wa kwa Igogo housing wao wako na nyumba yao. So thank you very much.
Asante. Thank you Kailemia. Asante sana. Haya, niko na seneta wetu Kadhuri Murungi awasalimie dakika moja. Wapi makofi ya seneta?
Like for example the women rep, I don't think hata nimemsikia vizuri. I'm yet to play ya Kawera Mwangaza. It was even worse. What do you make of it? Kenyans wanakusikiza, it's like their timing, wanangoja upande tu jukwaa tu hivi pa the heckling you are being given. I'm telling you what do you make of it, bwana Alex?
I told you first of all, Mr. G, ulienda meeting ya Mombasa?
No, sikufaulu kufika pale, nilikuwa nimeshikika. I had an issue with one of our container ambao nilimaliza jana saa 12, so sikufika pale.
Sasa wewe ni unatufeli. Aida kama ako hapa, Aida atuambie kama alienda. Unajua sasa hiyo ndio ujinga tuko nayo. Yenye unasema ati hukuenda hiyo meeting. Sasa sisi tulikuwa tunasikiza kutoka hapa live. Unajua meeting ya Mombasa was the best, among the best. Na mimi nilikuambia hivi.
Exactly.
Na mimi nilikuambia hivi, Mr. G. Mtu anaitwa Abu alihama kwenda UDA before elections. Unakumbuka?
Yeah, ulisema nakumbuka.
Joho ni kama pia ameingia UDA. So Joho was the only one missing, but governor wa Mombasa alifanya kazi nzuri. Mishi Mboka alifanya kazi nzuri. Kuna huyu mwanamke wa Kwale, ni women rep ama ni MP? There is that woman who was in Kwale who also spoke very well, eloquent, rhetorically, and she convinced me that watu wa Kwale ni mistake ya Azimio ilifanya tukasambaratika hivi. ODM haikupata viti zake zenye walikuwa nazo 12. Na sasa Jex, wacha nikwambie kitu kimoja ambayo Penny Nyagaka may not agree with me. The whole country imekataa Ruto. It is right now, aende, unaona ile njia tulijaribu wakisi tulijaribu kuwa mzuri wakati tulimhost Musocho. Tulimhost vizuri, Simbarati akakuwa mzuri. Baadaye huyo Soro ameenda amepiga watu marisasi, watu wengine walikufa, wengine ni masikio, wengine ni prosthetics wanaenda kuwekewa. So we are living in an era whereby Kenya Kwanza is not only inasumbua like in terms of budget, it is terrorizing our own people. And when you see a people start reacting the way they are reacting, they are doing so because you see, hii maneno for instance, hii maneno ni kuuliza aje, pesa ya housing levy inaenda kurudishwa because we want it back. Hiyo ni pesa walichukua kiholela na hiyo ni haramu. So we want to know, wanarudisha hiyo pesa walimetukata for like 7 months. Kitu cha pili, the other case ilikuwa kwa Supreme Court ilikuwa gani? Sasa huyu anaitwa Gachiedha. Gachiedha alikuwa anataka kupeleka madam mwingine hapo kwa Judicial Service Commission. He chickened out because he knew he's going to lose. So ukiangalia hizi vitu vizuri, hata Wakale wamekataa. They are booing them. Imagine. The booing did not start now. In fact, Wakale ndio walianza. Weka fungu, achana hizo na.
Yeah, you're right.
Weka Ruto hapo. Weka fungu. Tuweke sisi wapeke yetu fungu. Hata hii maneno unatuwekea hapo Ruto.
No, so there's a reason I'm doing this, because you guys make attack watch a camera. Now I want you to listen to this. This is when Kawera Mwangaza tried to speak. She began by greeting people. It wasn't even possible for her to continue. William Ruto had to make some certain remarks, and that's what I want to play just about now. All right.
Kawera Mwangaza.
The crowd passed wave and tell him no, we don't want. They refused, but Kawera insisted. The mic was given to her, and here it was about to go down, and finally it did. Look at this.
Kabati, kama unakaribisha mama nionyeshe kwa mkono. Tunakushukuru sana Rais kwa sababu umetembea Mekindori, na hapa Mekindori tunataka maendeleo. Tumesema siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya. Kabati, kaende. Kama unapenda mama nionyeshe kwa mkono. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki. Karibu sana Rais, tena na tena tuna.
Asante sana gavana wetu. Haya, nyinyi wangwana, tulizeni maneno. Saa hizi ni saa ya kazi. Hatutaki saa hizi kupigana vita. Tunataka kufanya kazi, si namna hiyo? Nyinyi mimi na Rikiji tufanye yetu. Si nyinyi ndio mthabitisha mtihani? Mtu akizembea kazini sinaenda nyumbani. Basi sasa hakuna haja ya kuharakisha mtu. Nyinyi relax. Si namna hiyo? Kila mtu afanye kazi bwana. ama namna gani? Mimi nataka niwaulize watu wa Meru, siasa hatutaki ya vita, tunataka siasa ya maendeleo. Hatutaki siasa ya ugomvi, tunataka siasa ya kuunganisha. Hatutaki kutenganisha watu Meru hii. Na mimi nataka niwaambie vijana, nataka mnisikie, nataka mnisikize, hatutaki fujo. Naelewana? Fujo ni ya watu wa kitendawili. Fujo ni ya watu wa Azimio.
So, I don't know. It was interesting because this is ODM stronghold, not ODM, sorry, Kenya Kwanza stronghold. This is a place Kenya Kwanza really got massive votes. In any case, this is a place that William Ruto had almost a clean sweep on MPs and everyone else. Maybe to become a governor, but he really had serious numbers when it comes to the votes that he garnered here. But Mr. G, it began so well. You know, me, I'm looking at the crowd. I'm not even into the leaders, what they're doing. I love how the crowds first allow, and when they don't want it even to happen, they wave no. They insist we don't want. But if the person insists, they give him no peace at all. What do you make of such behavior? Is it a way Kenyans are now saying, you know what? If you won't listen to us, we will not listen to you.
Exactly. That is what they're trying to say. You know, in fact, in Meru, there's a problem between the governor and those other leaders and the people. So in Meru, as much as those people wana heckle, wanafanya nini, but there is a problem between governor and those people, the MCA and all those other leaders. There's something about Alex alikuwa anasema ukamkata. Sijui kama amemaliza what he was saying. Because ni kama bado anaongea ukamkata katikati. Sijui kama amemaliza.
Alikuwa anasema nitoe video, nikamwambia wacha video ikae because you guys nyima kamera, mnanifanya lazima because if I only have you guys alone, presentation is very bad.
Kuna kitu nilikuwa ninaongea ukanikata katikati.
Yeah, ongea.
Okay.
Alex ongea alafu niongee.
Yeah, so kitu nilikuwa nasema Dex. Hali imefika saa hii na meetings zenye Raila alifanya zenye alifanya, unajua vile alianza kutoka Siaya, alianzia huko, you know, hapo ndio kwake, lazima angeanzia huko. Meeting ya Kisumu was one of the best pia, but when he went to Vihiga it was very interesting. And Busia is county number 1 kwa ODM wenye walivote vizuri kabisa. Walivote kitu kama almost 80%. Aso naona tukatembea vizuri, tukaenda Kakamega. Sasa Bungoma was the climax wakati wa ndugu za Wetangula wawili. Sasa wame decide kuingia ODM. Kuna ule Benson na kuna mwingine hapo. So alafu tukaenda Mombasa, tukaanzia Lamu. Uliona baba amepewa mpaka punda akapanda. Uliona wakati walikuwa wanaenda the other side of Lamu kwenda ndani katika walikuwa wameboard wakienda. So Mombasa started being interesting. Kutoka hapo, kutoka Lamu wakaenda Kilifi. Kilifi wakaenda kwanza Kwale kwa sababu Friday inaenda kufika na Waislamu wengi wanaendanga wapi? Msikiti. So in general what I'm trying to say is that the momentum has picked up and there is no way people are going to retreat this time around. Maandamano baba amepangia Ruto yenye nakuja. Italeta shida sana. Na Ruto akijaribu takwambia hata watu watakuwa na bunduki zake. Watu watabeba hata bunduki waue askari mwenye anataka kuwaua. You know, wakati unafanya illegality in a country, everything you're doing is illegal. There's nothing legal you are doing. Kutoka kukata watu pesa, kuongeza ushuru for no apparent reason, VAT kutoka 8% to 16%. I mean, I asked the other day my brother-in-law. He's the legal advisor in the Ministry of Lands. Nikamuuliza, how much do you get cut? Because hao ni wale watu wenye wako salary yao iko juu kabisa. Akaniambia, Alex, you know me, I earn like a minister because I'm a legal advisor in the Ministry of Land. Akaniambia wanamkata 125,000 kutoka hii sijui NHIF mpya. Sasa 125, you are earning 400,000. You are living in Karen. Ameniambia mpaka anataka kuhama kutoka Karen aende Kitengela. So huyu ni jamaa ameharibu the country totally and completely. And that is why nakwambia maandamano ambayo inakuja itakuwa mbaya sana. Na Ruto asiposikiza wananchi, it's going to be very worse. So hapo ndio namalizia, wacha G aendelee.
Now G, hizi stories za heckling hazikuwa tu Meru. Hapa Nakuru, as much as it was raining cats and the other animal, the governor herself, and equally I'll be playing what the former MP for Bahati said. Governor mwenye alikuwa heckled by Nakuru residents mpaka hakuongea. It was one of the shortest speeches. These are not any other place. Hizi ni strongholds za Kenya Kwanza. Is this the dying signs of Kenya Kwanza? Mr. G?
Yeah, you know, Jex, before I answer that, there's something ebu highlight ile kitu ambao nani ameandika Goody comment ya mwisho kabisa, the last comment ambao Goody ameweka. Just highlight it, nataka kuisoma.
And highlight tu
yeah. Concerning that comment ambao Goody amesema, I want to tell Goody that Baba is not the one to solve the cost of living ambayo iko high. Is not Baba to solve it. Baba angesolve angekuwa kama president, because president has all mechanism ya kufanya country iwe na better cost of living. But kwa sahi sasa Goody akiwa analaumu Baba ati Baba asaidie kwa cost of living, no, Baba hausiani kabisa na cost of living. Baba is making his house in order. He's just putting his house in order, kwa sababu si yeye ambaye anafanya cost of living. Cost of living should be inafaa iwe dealt with na the president and the government, the current government, not opposition. So to blame Baba upande wa cost of living, Baba is making his house in order, and that is very right. Na ako right kabisa kufanya kitu ambacho anafanya. Okay, coming to what you are talking, to coming to what you asked Mr. Jex. Sahi watu wamechoka. Look at this. Angalia hapa vile watu wanapiga kelele wakirukaruka. Kulikuwa na chaos wakati Baba alikuwa Busia. Wakati Baba alikuwa Busia kulikuwa na chaos. Lakini wakati Baba alisimama kuongea, kila mtu alinyamaza, wakamsikiza. Vizuri kabisa mpaka Baba akamaliza. Odo kulikuwa na hiyo chaos kidogo na wale gusa ambao wametuma, but haikuwa kama hii. This one here walianza wakati Kawera Mwangaza alikuwa anaongea. Na for me kusema kwa pia huyu mtu amekuwa heckled ambaye ni Ruto. Yeah, nikisema
Go on.
Yeah, nikisema ni Ruto amekuwa heckled. Tunapata wakati Ruto anaendelea kuongea ndio watu wanaendelea kuendelea na ile, yani wanakuwa psych more when alikuwa, yani sasa psych inapanda, mori inapanda, wanapiga kelele sana. Kumaanisha watu wamechoka na lies. As much as pia leadership iko mbaya kule Meru, but lies pia za huyu mtu pia zimechokesha watu. Cost of living imeumiza watu wengi. Watu wamefunga mabusiness zao. Watu wanapitia hali ngumu, watoto hawaendi shuleni. Pesa haiko mfukoni. And this is the guy ambaye danganya watu akisema kwa akiingia kwa kiti kukalia kiti pesa itakuwa mfukoni. Hakuna mtu ako na pesa mfukoni sahi. Kila mtu ako ana struggle kupata pesa. So the same way unakumbuka there's a tweet ambao nani alimake the former MP of Nandi. There's a tweet ambao aliweka last week na akasema it is only a madman ambaye who is still expecting kuwa hii government wakipatia time ita perform. Only a madman
Alright.
but I believe that narrative, but it won't happen. This government may fail na haina any strategy ya kutusaidia come out of this mess ambao tuko ndani.
So hii gava haiwezi make ama nini, because they are really trying. Na Musalia Mudavadi
haiwezi make.
Tutakuwa na announcement. Kenyans wangojea
wewe hauni bene president amekuwa frustrated. Hai.
Mr. G.
Yeah, nilikuwa nasema this government won't make it. The government won't make haina strategy. Hawana
Kuna advice wamepewa na MP wa Bahati. Anawaambia endapo mtaendelea hivi, hata UDA msijaribu kuileta Nakuru. For example, hiyo ni Nakuru tu. And I can tell you for free, Nakuru has 11 constituencies and all of them are UDA. Only one.
Exactly.
Sorry. Only two. We only have two that that is Bahati, which is Jubilee, and Nakuru West for Arama. The others are UDA. So what do you make of that kind of shift? It's only 1 year. Now, the ground has shifted to the level that Mbaka, former leaders who were in UDA, in fact, Kimani Gonjiri is a very senior person in UDA. How comes wanamwambia sasa the president peupe, ukicheza hata ukijaribu kuja na UDA utaona moto? What do you make of such sentiments coming from one Kimani Gonjiri?
But Gunjiri alitoka UDA. Gunjiri yuko tu kwa kujina because he was inside, he was in the inner circle ya Ruto. Alikuwa kwa inner circle ya Ruto. He's still in UDA kwa sababu ile jina, but the guy ile akili yake hata haiko pale. Akili yake haiko pale. Huyu jamaa alishajiondoa, ako kando kabisa. Is the same guy ambaye amesema kuwa UDA ikipelekwa pale hata watu watachomwa. See, he's the same guy ambaye amesema hivyo.
Yeah.
He's the same guy. Yeah, he's the same guy ambaye amesema hivyo. So, wewe niambia wewe uko inside UDA alafu unaongea vitambu jamaa anaongea hivi. Huyu mtu ameona kuwa hapa moyo wake hata haiko hapa. That's why alikuwa anaambia watu wa Nakuru kuwa saidi the solution iko tu kwa Mungu. Waombe tu Mungu lakini si government. Waombe Mungu na Mungu ataweza kuwasaidia. Naona Julia amekuja.
Julia Konda. Julia amejaja. Karibu sana Julia. I hope you are well and equally joining us. Alex anakuja and many equally are watching. Asante sana kwa kuwa part of this show. We are doing it live here at Afrique 24. Sorry, I had to switch channels so as niwe clear in one, all right? But asante sana kwa make time kuwa part of this show. Ninaona wengi wana comment na wana participate kwa hii show. Julia, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is, but habari ya leo?
Mzuri Jake, good. I'm good Jake. Habari ya leo?
Niko salama, umepotea wewe?
Niko ni vile tu issue yenyu saa zingine ni kama ikuji ama I don't know. Ama
unatufuata from Africa? Are you surprised?
Yes, I don't see it in Africa.
No, we have been there. Maybe probably hit notification ndio tukiingia tu hivi inakutumia, but I think I've been sending you, but tutaongea hapo nyuma ya tent baadaye. But anyway, karibu sana.
Asante nashukuru. Naona Mr. G yako. Sijui Mr. G anasema Ngujiri amehama, ametoka UD ama ameenda wapi?
No, Ngujiri yuko lakini sasa ile akili yake haiko pale. Yana anatrust sai Mungu na anaweza saidia Kenya, si Ruto tena. Sai ni Mungu anaweza saidia Kenya peke yake.
Na si juzi tu alitutukana na you remember vile alitutukana juzi tu. It's not even 1 year.
No, achana maneno ya 1 year ago. Ngujiri spoke very well. Kwanza Julia, habari yako?
Mzuri Alex, good to see you.
Yeah, thank you Julia. Sasa Ngujiri uliposikia leo amemwambia vizuri sana Ruto kuwa hii maneno unafanya huwezi fika 2027. Na alimwambia na upole ingine mzuri sana, sio ule Ngujiri mwenye anapenda kugombana. Na pia aliambia Kihika ukweli kabisa. Kihika anaibaiba mashamba, sasa ameiba mashamba nyingi sana nasikia Nakuru. So he was also amekuwa mtu wa kutetea watu. So if you know, let's not criminalize association. If watu wa UDA wamekubali, wamefika kwetu. Let us receive them. Azimio, let us receive them, because mimi Julia, watu niko nao shida ni watu wa Central. Si baba anakuja lini Central? Bila alitoka Mombasa anakuja lini Central?
Sijui. I think I need to find out. I don't know.
So ukipatana na watu kama Munjiri wakiamua kuja, uliona hata Mudavadi
vile amepigwa kelele pale.
Actually, Julia, I wanted to ask you, what do you make of this heckling? What is happening? Because this heckling is now becoming is it the new way of protesting? Is it the new way of maandamano? We saw it in Nakuru. We have seen it in Meru. Today, Musalia Mudavadi could not even finish his speech properly because wananchi wamefika mahali, they are not taking any casualties. Wanakuambia hapo hapo, ukiwa tu hapo. They are not sparing you.
Yeah, mi nasikia kwanza pale pale kwa Mudavadi au vijana si ati ni wale wanapangwa. They were just fed up with what he was saying. Walikuwa na mjibu. Naona sijui kama nyinyi watu, me have been in the classroom. Uko na situation watoto wanakujibu, yani unaongea watu wanakujibu. It's very annoying. And very disrespectful. That is what Mudavadi alipata. Pale Meru I think first kulikuwa na showdown ya Linturi na Kawira Mwangaza na I think Linturi alipanga wao vijana wakuja wa shut down Kawira Mwangaza, lakini sasa mimi nashangaa Linturi ako pande gani? Ako pande ya Ruto ama ako pande gani? Now but now the overall thing that happened kwamba Ruto was embarrassed. Unaona aliendelea kuambia nyamazeni, they were still shouting back. Hiyo inaonyesha na
unajua Julia,
yes.
Unajua there's something, wewe ni mwalimu, there's something called class control. Like when you are in front there is a way you can behave until people listen to you. Mtu alianza kujibiani, nyinyi wangwana mnasikia? Sisi sio watu wa fujo. Sisi watu wa fujo ni watu wa Azimio. Na kitendawili. Unajua hiyo kitu ilikasirisha watu. Na wameona vile huyu mzee ametetea watu Kenya. Kama sio yeye sahi Ruto angetoa ametuangamiza. Kwanza yeye ndiye alipeleka hiyo case. Ila alipeleka hiyo case kotini ya housing levy, tukafikiria alikuwa mjinga. Na ile wakati Koome alimit Ruto, tulikuwa na uoga sana kuwa hizi kesi zinaenda kupita zote. But it looks like alienda kukatasha Ruto, akamwambia hii kitu inaenda kupitishwa hivi. Na tumeshaamua usipigie jaji wangu kelele.
Yeah, ni kama Alex, ni kweli ni kama Koome is giving us some surprises. Koome ni kama ana surprise kwamba amegundua kwamba where the country is na I think she's like making up her mind kama ni mbaya. Lakini pale kwa pale Meru, what Alex is saying, if I go to the classroom nipate wanafunzi wanagombana, I expect at least mimi waniheshimu hata kama sijui wanagombania nini, at least waniheshimu waache kwanza watulie by my presence, watulie waone how I sort it out. What were the boys doing? Shouting back, yelling. Hiyo walimuonesha disrespect sana, and they no longer care what Ruto will do or say. And then Ruto naye kama mliona hiyo body language yake na his mood, ako depressed to the end. Mr. G hapa, sijui kama Mr. G amesema huyu jamaa amesukumwa, and today I was thinking Ruto may collapse anytime hata in public. I'm telling you. Let me ask you.
Kama mnamtukia, you are wishing him serious problems, bwana.
No, we are not wishing. We are just trying to analyze. You see, kama wewe ni president, and people tu vijana tu wenye wana pesa have the audacity to shout at you in public. Hata ukijaribu kuambia nyamazeni, they are yelling and shouting. Whoever had paid them, whether it's in Linturi ama Kawira Mwangaza, the fact that Ruto alisimama kuongea, they should have shown some respect to him, wanyamaze. Lakini hiyo saa hawakuwa nayo. They went on yelling and shouting. So that shows that Kenyans, next time, I will not be surprised wakimtupia vitu. I will not be surprised. Na Ruto penye amefika, Mudavadi atasema ati kuna announcement wata make. I was hoping that Mudavadi wata make announcement ya kuresign, maybe, ama dissolve government. Maybe that is the only surprising announcement they can make. Lakini any other announcement is inconsequential. So, what Mudavadi is trying to say, the thing is serikali, Jake, you ask a question, is this the end of UDA era? UDA is coming to the end on its own. Is destroying itself. Now look at the way the economy is. Watoto leo nimeona over 130,000 children cannot be accounted for when you alifanya KCP. After tulitoka kwa Kibaki akasema ati transition 100% si tumekuwa in the recent past doing close to 100% transition at least to high school. So we are talking about over 130,000 children cannot be accounted for. Now, bei ndio hiyo. Ruto ndio hiyo anangangana watu walipe house levy. Kuna watu nimeona wamesema warudishie pesa yao. Ruto amekula hiyo pesa. And for your information, I want to announce to all those Kenyans who are here thinking that kwanza wale mabwenyenye ati zile nyumba Ruto anajenga wananunua. Hizo nyumba watanyang'anywa na serikali inayokuja. And they will not pay them a single coin. And those houses will go at a loss, ama waste, ama itakuwa someone was telling us about China, ghost cities. Itakuwa kama ghost cities zenye ziko China. That one may happen. But I want to tell you, those who are grabbing those houses and buying, they will go at so much loss. I also want to tell those who are the contractors who are building. The incoming government, there's an incoming government. I promise Kenyans that there's an incoming government. We will not pay them a single coin. So kama wewe umenyakua ati umepata contract, you better run for your life and leave that contract alone. Hakuna pesa utalipwa, utaenda tu hasara. So I want to conclude by saying that Ruto's government will not recover. It is like a patient who has cancer beyond stage 4. Stage 4 squeeze nasikia watu wanapona. I hear people come back from stage 4, but I'm telling you, Ruto's government is a cancer that cannot recover because his strategies are miserable. Angalia sasa mtakuwa mkilipa barabara. Who will be paying? People will burn down those toll stations. Ati mtakuwa mkilipa barabara.
Mbona Wakenya wataki kulipa taxes? Mimi nina swali. Why
Who is
are
not
Kenyans
paying tax? Who is asking that foolish question?
House levy is a good thing.
Let me answer that foolish
That's something
question.
that is good for Kenyans. Unajua Kenyans, they want instant gratification. This is a long-term game.
All right, now, I don't know. Can I call you Honorable Alex?
Mbona mna complain every time? Watu walipe taxes. We need house levy isaidie vijana wapate kazi. That's what we need.
Now, can I call you Honorable Alex? Just one moment.
Can mute him. He can't take instructions.
I agree with Honorable Alex.
Jake, I had not finished talking.
Just a moment. Julia, Mohammed, and everyone else. I'll give you everyone time. Both Kenya Kwanza, Azimio, everybody. Kila mtu atapewa time. Whether you agree, disagree, issue ni yenyu. Yeah? So we won't fight. We will listen and tolerate one another. Now, I'm about to ask you, Julia, to give me your submissions as you wind up as well. And then I'll have Guru and Mohammed coming up. I don't know this guy because an operate come Alex is not Alex. So I don't want to call him so, but I'm sure Alex is behind him. He'll be joining me just now. Yes, Julia.
Let me wind up and ask them not to interrupt the conversation. Mpaka mtu apatie nafasi yake. Then kama kuna swali watauliza tutawajibu. Now, because he has talked about taxes, Jake allowed me to talk about that. Kenyans pay taxes. There is income tax, there is VAT. Ruto siya mwenye ameseparate tax. We have been paying tax 6 times immemorial. What we don't want is those foolish levies that are being brought. Kama ati kulipa barabara, toll. What if you're in America, you paying toll, Alex? Alex, niambie ni wapi ulipa barabara kwa barabara? You tell those who think they're in America. Come on. So this government, Kenya Kwanza government, is on a free fall. Period. Asante.
All right. Allow me leo kidogo tu Bwana Guru, I know you'll understand. If I skip you kidogo tu, I'll be coming to you just now. Allow me to invite this new person. I've never had him before. So wacha tukaribishe mgeni, but I'll be coming to you Bwana Guru immediately after I'm through with Bwana Mohammed. All right. Wewe ni mzalendo kamili, I'm sure. But I really respect you, sir. And I respect the fact that you are heavily loaded na substance zenye nataka kuuliza after Mr. Mohammed. Mr. Mohammed, how are you?
Yes, I'm fine.
Yes,
So that
I'm glad I've met you for the first time, and equally karibu kwa show. What do you make of all that is happening? All this heckling, both the President Musalia and other Kenya Kwanza leaders have received. Of course, I think during this weekend and last week, and sometimes now imezidi. What do you make of it? What are Kenyans saying?
and I agree with the Honorable Alice. Let us give the government the time, then we'll be okay. And then ushuru, kulipa ushuru ndio very important. Watu walipe ushuru. And then time bado, according to my opinion, time will come. Yeah.
Kwa nini watu wamekasirika? Shida iko wapi? Watu hasira zinatoka wapi? Why are people like this?
Hasira, I think
just before Mburu comes in.
Yeah, just
Mboro is not in. Mohammed is the one is in. Yes, Mohammed. sorry for that. Yes, Mohammed. Mbona watu wako na hasira hivi? Hasira za nini? Hawataki viongozi waongee, wanawakemea. Hasira za nini?
Hasira ni in terms of politics, I think, according to my opinion. So, and I think it will be okay. Let us give the government time. Then it will be fine, yeah.
So it has nothing to do with the president, with Kenya Kwanza. It's purely politics.
I think it's about politics because the president alianza kazi sahi. Alianza kazi sahi. So by the time tukifika the end of 2025, everything it will be okay. Yeah.
All right. And maybe because you are the right person to ask this question, what's the fight in SUPKEM, in the leadership there? What is it all about?
What is that?
The fight in Muslim leadership.
The Muslim leadership is see, we are supporting our president. We have our own.
No. It's not about
problem.
that one, but I'll explain later. There is a challenge between who is the head of is it Imam or what? I think something like that. I don't know those hierarchies. That's why maybe I thought you knew about it. I'll be asking you when I get the facts correct with me, but I think there is a fight there. Bwana Guru, how are you?
Jex, just a second before Guru comes in. Just a second.
Yes.
Yeah, there's somebody accusing me there kwa comment section, anasema kuwa siku hata kwa maandamano, siko kwa meeting gani. In maandamano anafaa ajue nilikuwa kwa maandamano na tulipigwa hata tear gas. Aache propaganda. Guru go no. Endelea.
Sawa. Aya, Mr. G amejitetea. Yes, Mr. Guru, how are you? I'm sure you're doing well, but umepotea hata wewe hii mitaa.
I'm fine.
How are you? Umepotea sana.
I'm doing fine. Yes.
Karibu sana kwa show. What do you make of the heckling that has now been on the increase? Is this the new way of protesting?
You know, there is something that some people would want to sweep under the carpet. The truth is that people are deeply disoriented by the problems that are there in the country. They're actually disenchanted. They feel frustrated. The hope is gone. And because of that, they have adopted a new way of protesting. After what happened in the first line of protests that turned ugly with the deaths and injuries, I think the new way of protesting is to go and make noise directly to heckle. And this is just the beginning. I am sure there are many more who have been heckled. It's only that those are the ones that have been captured by the by the media.
Yes, yes.
And this is especially more so in areas that voted for UDA because the expectations were very, very high that their lives would turn around for the better. And you can imagine you have promised people some good times, and then all of a sudden, even the hope of getting those things you have promised them is not even there anymore. So what do you expect? I have maintained that going forward, and particularly after the mid this year, things will get even more tough for leadership, especially in Mount Kenya region and generally across the country. Because you see, you cannot promise people a good life and then the opposite happens. And because you actually blamed the former regime and you came into power on the basis that you are going to be better, and then you turn out to be worse, what do you expect people to do? They will do what they did to the former regime 10 times. And I will say this, even at the worst time in the Nyayo era, when people in central Kenya felt so frustrated, at no time did the people have the guts to shout down the late President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. Maybe it was because, some may say it was because of fear or the situation at that time, but I don't think that is the case. The thing is that unfortunately Ruto has lost respect with the people and is not carrying himself with the dignity of a president, especially in his utterances and getting involved in petty political exchanges that can attract ridicule and rebut and so on. Because what is the reason of going right now talking about mutu ya kitendawili and so many other hurting things that don't make sense in the current situation, because it's not campaigning. So when you reach that level, what will happen is that the people will also start taking you casually. And that is what has happened. That is why even when he tells the youth to keep quiet, he's frustrated that they are making noise in a presidential function. He even says that he does not want noises in a presidential function. That one is very telling, because he understands the impact of that action by those youths. Yet he is the one who has invited the same through his character. Through his character. Because you see, a president is somebody who should be carried with a bit of weight by whether you voted for him or not. When he appears somewhere, he carries himself with dignity that will force you to respect him. You see? But that is not what has happened. We are having a different creature of a president than the one we have experienced ourselves in our days. Even Moi did not have very good policies, but there was something about Moi, the way he carried himself. Okay, the way he carried himself in public, and that demanded respect, even from his worst political enemies. But this is not what is happening now. You know, so I do not know. You see somebody like Kibaki also, very calm, very corrected, generally free. I remember there's only one time there was an exchange between supporters of one politician and another one somewhere in Western Kenya, and Kibaki was present. And so when that push and pull started, Kibaki just told the security who wanted to hit those supporters. Wachana na wao watatulia. And immediately everything came to a standstill, and everything went calm. And there are those even who so funny it. But look at it, what has happened in Meru. Nyinyi, I don't want, I mean, let me tell you, and this I can say with great authority, Ruto is opening himself to provocation in politics. And provocation is one of the tactics used by opponents to draw you out so that you can act irrationally and make a fool of yourself in public. So if he does not find somebody to advise him on how to behave when such situations happen, then I see a very dark political future for him, because this is to be expected. Any politician should be ready for this. It happens. But when it gets to a point where the youth cannot keep quiet, even when you want them to do so, then it is time to reevaluate yourself. But it is just generally a manifestation of the deep-seated frustration that the people are going through. Yeah.
Yes. I'll be coming to you with questions, but I wanted to bring back Bwana G. Mr. G, Mr. Guru is saying that the nature of the president, one, he's a symbol of national unity. He is a symbol of respect. He's a symbol that many ought to stand almost in awe of. But unfortunately, his presence didn't scare the young men and women who were booing other leaders to the level that he even got agitated. From where you sit, what can William Ruto do? Because by the end of the day, he ought to learn how to tame crowd. He had it before, but he seems to be losing that. He seems to be losing the ability of crowd control. Or is it because what he said, or rather what he promised, he can no longer give promises because people are anticipating he ought to deliver? What do you make of him, his position, and what he can do to maintain crowd, as Julia equally had said? He ought to command respect. He ought to control the crowd. People seem not to even care in a way.
Jex, I agreed what Guru and Madam Julia has said. Watu wamechoka. And when I started, I gave you one of the 48 laws of power, na nikakwambia do not offend the wrong person. This guy na hizi acts zake ambazo amefanya na hizi propaganda zake na uongo zake, he has offended a wrong people. We are the supreme, na sisi ndo tuna decide what to do. So tukiamua ni maandamano, hakuna vile atatuzuia. Tukiamua hatutaki kumsikiza, hakuna vile atatuzuia. Sasa watu wamechoka naye. No one want to listen to his lies. In Meru, he's a symbol of power. He's the president. Wakati watu walikuwa wanapiga kelele kwa sababu ya Kawera Mwangaza, wangenyamaza wakamsikia. But look at what happened. In fact, sasa ndio ilizidi, ikawa sasa imaka, watu wanaruka, wanapiga kelele, wanamheckle. Ilikuwa imezidi. Why? Because watu wamechoka naye. This is a person ambaye washajua he lives in propaganda. He lives in lies. There's no way ataongea kitu ambacho ni ya ukweli. Watu washamjua kwa ni muongo. So wamechoka naye. Hata sasa hawana respect naye tena. Yeah, there's no respect.
Julia, if I come back to you, Musalia Mudavadi equally has a senior position, but even that as well didn't kind of bring fear to anyone. People didn't, like fear that huyu ni prime cabinet secretary, and alikuwa amekuwa introduced by another CS, Owalo, Edward, is it David or whatever, Owalo, and after the CS had introduced him, one he told Eliud, all right, thank you. I think I even almost called him David at one point. Now, when Eliud called him, alimintroduce vizuri, but some people were, hata kama wengine hawakutaka kusimama. In fact, some didn't even stand up. I'll be showing that clip just now. And then when he began to speak, the boos, the jeers zikaanza kuincrease mpaka ikafika mahali he had to change the trajectory he was taking. Why are people not, as you are saying that you are a teacher, and at times if a student can't even listen to you, it means something has changed. Either they have become unruly or rude or anything, but to the level that you have to change what you're saying for them now to listen to you. Is it the messaging that was wrong? What did Musalia do that ought not to be repeated again?
Jake, it is not even what Musalia did. It is what he's saying no longer makes sense to Kenyans. Unajua alianza kusema ati kwamba ati mnajua niliwaambia kulikuwa serikali ilikuwa na madeni, all those those things Kenyans have had, and they are now tired of hearing that. And I mean, they didn't expect anything to him, and they have no respect for him and his government. And I mean, they seriously have no respect for him and his government. I mean, and I think Kenyans are not going to take this anymore. Like Nguru has said, to go more next time. Like I said, some people will throw some stuff to Ruto. Wewe kumbuka, unaona pale Nyahururu watu wa mama walikuwa wanapita Ruto akiongea, uko na hiyo, unakumbuka hiyo clip?
Yeah.
Wanaenda kwa mama amefunga shuka anarudi. I mean, they no longer have, so it's not even the Musalia, the person they didn't like. It is just what he represents, and the government he represents. Like they are tired and fed up of hearing the lies. So I am seeing our situation for this government. They may not have a chance. Kuna watu watalimwa mawe if they dare. Penye Ngojiri amesema it will be very hard. In fact, I'm wondering whether it will, if elections are held today, whether kama kuna mtu anaweza kuwa na gas na kusimama na Kenya Kwanza anywhere in the country, maybe in Nandi. I don't know.
Nandis have refused. Nandis have refused the Nandi governor. They have refused the Murkomen. They have refused. Kuna watu huko, Chirichiri alikuwa booed huko the other day. Even the Nandis are sick of that. Let me tell you, you cannot increase the cost of living in the manner this guy just increased, abruptly, immorally, illegal way. Amenyang'anya watu mpaka pesa zao, hatujui kama watarudishiwa. Thirdly, kitu ya Kisii bado imekasirisha the whole country. Vile Osoro with impunity alienda akapiga watu marisasi. The mood of the country has become violent because the government is violent to us too. I don't know kama nyinyi mulichukulia na uchungu vile nilichukulia. Umeenda kupea watu bursaries. Alafu all of a sudden barabara inafungwa. Gari 4 zinakuja. Watu wanatoka ndani. Do you know how many people are in the hospital? We have 36 people in the hospital. Na Osoro bado hajashikwa. Nani alipiga tu MCA tu kofi moja akapelekwa ndani? Selasia. Peter Selasia. Kofi moja peke yake akapelekwa kotini akalala huko sijui siku 2. This government has started terrorism with its own people. And right now, if the elections were held in Kisii, hakuna kura hata moja Ruto atapata. Sijui kama uliona kwa matanga ya Muita vile Simbarati spoke passionately and akauliza Ruto, nimefanyia serikali yako nini? We have groups za Kisii, tuko hapa, tuko na Kenya. If you know how much condemnation, even the people who voted for him, they have rebuked him. Because Simba is one of the most, in fact, if Baba was to die today, the only person who can take ODM and be able to lead it is Simbarat. Because Joe has chickened out. Joe has chickened out. So what I'm saying, Julia, it is not only about the cost of living. These people have impunity of the highest order. And it's intentional. Huyo ni nani alituma Osoro? Osoro akujituma peke yake. Sasa kuna mama akona prosthetic kwa sababu alivunjwa. Kuna mama alikuwa huko na mimba. Pia yeye akachapwa risasi kwa matako. She has to go to the hospital. She has to go to the hospital so that he can do what? Akaa huko mpaka time yake ya kuzaa ifike 3 months. Kuna watoto walikuwa wadogo kabisa, less than 2 years. Hata hao waligongwa risasi. So hiyo kitu pia imefanya mood of the country to go in a wrong way. Osoro should be arrested so that we can know that what he did was wrong. You can't allow people to just come and start shooting people anyhow just because they are whips. And then the country inaenda vibaya. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to tell Julia, that Kisiland and Luo ulisikia vile Eddie Okecha aliongea. In America there's blue states na red states. Tulikula kiapo. Tukasema if Osoro is not going to be arrested, if he continues his impunity like that, and then the president does not take him in, he killed 2 people. That's all I wanted to say.
All right. Now, Guru, I want to come to you. And before I come to you, kuna ujamaa wa Coffee, eh? Ujamaa wa Coffee, as much as alipigana Coffee, kuna statement alisema jana. And hiyo ndio na project hapo kwa screen tu saizi. This is what he said. The President, William Ruto, neglected his duties when he was the deputy president to Uhuru Kenyatta. Today, he has neglected his duties as the president, and he is back on campaign trail. Kama hayuko kwa ndege, ako kwa roof ya gari asking some obvious questions. Mnataka niwape vijana kazi? That is what bwana jamaa wa Coffee Peter Silasia, mbunge wa Mumias East, alikuwa anauliza. That when he was the DP, he was all over. In fact, he was coined the name Tanga Tanga kwa sababu of moving all over. All right. Now they are now asked. This is what the MP said after him stopping being a Tanga Tanga DP. Now he's a president, and this is what he said, that he has neglected his duties as the president. He is back on campaign trail. Kama hayuko kwa ndege, like when ameenda saizi ameenda Italy, hayuko ashaenda Italy. Ako kwa roof ya gari asking obvious questions. Mnataka niwape vijana kazi? What do you make of such? I know it sounds funny, but in it lies very serious arguments. The president already, others would argue, on a campaign trail, because some of the projects don't need him to address mammoth crowds. All right, doesn't need him to. Some of these things he can even delegate. An MP can launch some of the projects. An MCA can launch some of the projects. He doesn't need to drive all the way, to fly all the way. But Silasia is arguing that he's on a campaign trail. What do you make of these sentiments, Bwana Guru?
Yes, I think that is what it is. What Silasia is saying is what Kenyans have started discussing. That you remember there was a talk that was going on before the last general elections, that this is a man who was driving the government of Kenya, especially in the first term, as his boss was impiping some whiskey. So they even said that in the second term, some things did not go well because he left the government, and therefore things were not going well. But it is now exposed that, in fact, there are people who have started arguing that it's now very clear that it was an impediment to the government of Uhuru. He's the person who caused things to go the wrong way. Because, unlike what was held there before, that he was the driver of whatever good that Jubilee government brought. Now it's turning out that people are seeing things differently. Some are even starting to say it is possible that some of the failings of the Jubilee government can directly be assigned to him. So Salasia is just saying. Salasia is just saying what the word out there is, because you can imagine people even saying afadhali yule mrevi kuliko huyu nabii. You know, so you can see people, you know, coming to terms with a new reality that this is a person they thought they knew, but they did not know. Now is when they are knowing his true character, and in a negative way, so much so that the youth have lost respect for him, because when you know, some people may take it rightly, but when you have youths refusing to keep quiet when ordered to do so by the president, it's a very serious matter. Yes, it's a very serious matter. In fact, I believe that good counsel prevailed. Otherwise, those boys would have been beaten to the pulp. You know, presidential authority is not a joke. But for reasons that we may have to know, maybe wise counsel within the setup prevailed that let's just leave them to have their say in whatever crude manner that they were expressing themselves. So what Sarasia has said is true. What Sarasia has said is true, and unfortunately for Ruto to bring back the feeling to the common people that for the common people that he was the one who was in charge and he knows what he's doing, will be very, very difficult. It will be very, very difficult. You see, people don't want to be told. Don't go tell people how you are going to take them to Germany, US, and other places. Let it be that villages are feeling the airlift. That we know 10 boys or 10 girls have left this village for Germany, for US. Don't tell people. Don't tell them. Do it. That is what presidents do. And that's why, up to today, the approach that Kibaki used is the best. Just be calm, quiet, do the development work. Let people start seeing the fruits. You see? But you cannot go to a field somewhere inside Kadwana, down in Marimanti, and other very dry places where even electricity has not been completed, and water is even a problem. And then you start telling them how their children will be living in aircrafts in big numbers when they cannot even afford a meal a day. Some have never come to Nairobi. And then you are going to tell them how you are going to ship out, or is it fry out people in droves. Utaberi must come to an end up to some point.
Okay.
Yes. And that is precisely what Salasia is trying to say, that unfortunately, I think there are people who cheapened or took leadership of a country like Kenya as a very simple thing, you know. something that they could do, like the way you feed your chicken in the morning, which is not the case. It's now turning out to be a very complex ecosystem that does not work on the whims of a person. It's a whole machine. It's a whole process. Yes, and that is where, unfortunately, Ruto has found himself. That is dealing with a more complex thing than we thought, because he spent most of his time campaigning and scheming. He never got to know the nitty-gritty of administration of statecraft. Yes.
All right. Now, Julia, what do you make of what Nase is saying? Yes,
Mr. Can I just comment something before Julia comes in? Can I just comment something?
Yeah.
There's a guy on the comment section ambaye anasema kuwa Uhuru will meant to be the worst president ever. Nataka kumjibu kuwa it is yesterday. No, it was last week when the UDA platform yenyewe iliuliza swali ikasema who is the worst president, akaanza kumention wakaweka pale Moi, wakaweka pale Uhuru, wakaweka pale sijui nani. Do you know, in the same platform yao ilipatikana kwa ni Ruto is the worst with 90% and above 90. So akija hapa akituambia kwa Uhuru atabaki kwa the worst president, anajidanganya. Kila mtu anajua the worst president is this guy ambaye yuko sahihi. Ameharibu economy, ameharibu country yetu na amebaki kwa the dictator. He's the worst president. Sasa acha kutuandikia vitu ambazo haziko. Aenda kwa platform yao ya UDA aangalie kwa Twitter. It is with 90%, more than 80% wanasema the worst president in Ruto.
Mr. G ni platform ya kila mtu na kila mtu ana uhuru wa kusema anavyoona. Yeye ameona hivyo na ana sababu zake. Ana sababu zake, na ndiko maana hii show inakuanga balance kidogo, kwa sababu we want it to have everyone including watu wa Kenya Kwanza, watu wa Azimio wajitetee, because debate ni utetee pande yenu mpaka kila mtu avuke sakafu. Alright. Now let me ask you, Madam Julie.
But yeah. Yeah, Uhuru Kenyatta tunajua alikopa madeni, but wakati alikopa madeni tumeona project ama tukuona project. Tumeona barabara, the best president ametujengea barabara the whole country, hata si region moja kama tuseme maybe ni central peke yake, the whole country amejenga barabara. President Uhuru alichukua madeni, but tuliona huyu mtu amekuja only 1 year amechukua more than what Uhuru took in the same period. Amefanya nini na hiyo pesa? Sasa hivi watoto wetu wameshindwa kwenda shuleni, watoto wetu wameshindwa kwenda, hii anadanganya watu atamepeana siji basari, atamepeana pesa ya education. Kila siku anakopa pesa pale. Amefanyia nini hiyo pesa?
In fact, Jakes, Ruto himself went to the public to defend the borrowing that they were doing, and he said they cannot borrow more than what they are not able to pay. That creep is unfortunately, the internet does not forget. So he knows how they were driving that government. He's part and parcel of what happened in the last 10 years. And he cannot run away from it. That is precisely what it is.
All right. Now, Julia, I want to come to you. And I want to bring in that part, Selassie, I want to hear your take. But equally, I want to bring this other question. Uhuru had so many other projects, not just one. Some were defended in court, some weren't. But most of what Uhuru did, some up to today, we are able to say truly they were well thought of. For example, the last mile. There are places in Kenya, if it wasn't for the last mile, steamers ingefika lini, because that is one brilliant project that made many places zifikiwe na stima. I am a person who I can attest. I have seen a village in the heart of yani mbali sana na ilifikiwa na stima. In fact, it was easy for them to get it because of that last mile. I don't know if you remember what last mile was, but ilikuwa ni malipo hata ya pesa kidogo sana, to the event that watu waliweza kupata stima virahisi sana. Projects kadha wa kadha I can mention. Za Ruto, what seems to be the problem? If they are not in court being stopped, they haven't started. what could be the problem?
So Jake Asante, for Uhuru, his projects, yeah, you're right, his projects took off, and Uhuru worked with technocrats, and he was able to know what a country needs to take off. So however much unajua, and unakumbuka au majambazi, when Uhuru was doing the infrastructure, they were saying atukuli barabara. But the thing is, a country cannot develop without a good road network. Okay, a country cannot develop without good infrastructure, kama electricity and all that. Me, what mnakumbuka I think you're saying the last mile. I also remember the rural electrification program.
Yeah, it is the same thing.
Yeah, you could only pay 15,000 and you get connection. Others were not even paying anything. So that one, everybody felt it. We felt the impact. So whatever the case, Uhuru knew whether alikopa, alijua, laid down the basic infrastructure. Then the other thing Uhuru paid attention to, kumbuka Kibaki want to introduce free primary school education. Now, when Uhuru came in, Uhuru brought in 100 transition from primary to high school. And seriously, we had close to 100% transition. And then Kibaki started funding the education, but it is during Uhuru's government, because I was still in Kenya, where I witnessed that serikali ilikuwa, first the government has been paying teachers, but this time the government went another step further. The government was providing textbooks ratio of 1:1 and notebooks ratio of 1:1 to school children. Sasa ilikuwa kwamba sio kwamba tu mnaambiwa mwende shule, but you are also given resources to go to school. And then we realized that that is when we also had some major changes because of Matiang'i and the people like Makoha. Na tunakumbuka kwamba we had the issues, the problems of exam cheating and all that. Matiang'i brought it to an end, and Makoha was able to safeguard that. Now, if you look at the health sector, look at our first lady, the Beyond Zero campaign. Huyu mama mwenye amefanya sahi, ama ni yule msichana wake anapenda kumparade. We always see her, that girl being paraded, and I'm wondering what she's being paraded for. But if you remember the Beyond Zero campaign of Mama Kenyatta, Mama Margaret Kenyatta, remember the hospitals come out easy, Mama Lucy. Remember, see the impact of NHIF. Me, unfortunately, unfortunately for me, I had a very close patient when somebody that is very close to me was ailing during Uhuru's time, and we were able to use NHIF even to go to hospitals like these, like German hospitals. Na hospitali kama za Kejabe with just NHIF card, ilikuwa inalipa. Then NHIF pia ilikuwa inalipia watoto wakiwa college. Kama wewe mwanafunzi yako college na you are under your father or your mother, you are still covered because it was counted you are a student, and therefore you need coverage. Now university students had NHIF. Now high school students, mnakumbuka hii bima ya watoto wa shule ya
Eduafya.
Sinani ameitoa, Ruto ameitoa.
Eduafya.
Yes, Eduafya. So how was Uhuru affording to do all that? Now let us go back to the COVID-19 crisis. You know what? Did you see how President Uhuru managed that crisis? In fact, he was counted even in Africa to one of the people that really managed that crisis. And he really managed that crisis. So mimi nashanga, how did he manage to do that? Now he brought in food subsidies. Hizi zenye hao majambazi wameingia wakatoa. If Uhuru was borrowing to make our life comfortable, then that was good, and we are happy with the borrowing. Now, these people who are talking about Uhuru's government borrowing, isn't Kenya Kwanza borrowing? Hasn't Kenya Kwanza been taken to record for having borrowed more than what Uhuru and Kibaki both borrowed in 20 years? Mnataka niwatafutie data, those who are talking about Uhuru's borrowing. I'll find the data right now. Kenya Kwanza has borrowed more than both Kibaki and Uhuru, what they borrowed in 20 years, and Kenya Kwanza has borrowed that in less than 1 year. So, who is the lesser evil? So, what we care, mtu akiniuliza, Jake, me as a Kenyan, what I care, especially mimi kama mama, ni kama watoto wangu wataenda shule, kama nikienda hospitali nitatibiwa, na kama niko na mahali ya kulala, na niko na chakula ya kukula, na niko na maji. So every other nonsense you keep telling us, that is inconsequential. So those who are comparing Uhuru and Ruto is like heaven and earth. And Ruto is the one who was sabotaging Uhuru's government. I want to finish by saying, kuna jamaa ingia hapo kwa room ya Alex. Sijui Alex alikuwa amemtoa wapi. Alikuwa anasema ati watu walipe tax. Who is not paying tax? I want to educate these Kenyans who support Kenya Kwanza. Blindly or foolishly or out of ignorance. That we have always paid tax in Kenya. We have always paid income tax. We have always paid value-added tax. So nobody has refused to pay tax. What this government is saying has done is has multiplied those tax with greed, thinking they'll make more money. And what has happened? The business, the business world and investors have withdrawn. If you want to get more tax from my profit, I decide whether I can even decide to make less profit. I can even decide to declare less profit. And the government has gone ahead asking many people to pay house levy. What are the investors doing? Laying off permanent workers who will be forced to pay house levy. Now the government has gone ahead for forcing them to pay NSSF. What has investors done? Lay off permanent workers who will pay NSSF. So in the long run, the taxman reported that he did not meet the target. In fact, he has collected less. So is that hiyo ni wisdom ama ni ujinga wa hali ya juu wa Kenya Kwanza? Asante Jake.
We umefanya nina maswali kama 500 lakini sijui nitaanza na gani. Mr. Guru, I see your hand up.
You know, I've just remembered Julia has missed out the Linda Mama, which was a program to take care of mothers who go to deliver to curb the problem of them delivering at home and dying. And it brought down deaths at that moment of maternal. Beyond there, I just want to say that for the first time, the statistics show that pombe, watu wamepunguza pombe. The taxes that the government expected to get from pombe it's going down. It's going down for fuel. It's gone down for alcohol.
Yes.
I don't know what else is going down, but it only shows you that people have reached the limit in terms of spending, and they are finding new ways of satisfying themselves. The only bad thing here for alcohol is that people are liking now to go down below the taxable the substances, and the government will get nothing. They will just go down there. So those are the realities we are faced with here. So when somebody comes here to pontificate about the UDA government, we've been in this country for so many years, and we know when things are good and when they are bad, and when they are deteriorating. What we are having here is a free fall, and unfortunately, even hope is fast disappearing. Welcome, Pen Nyagaka.
Now, Pen Nyagaka, I come to you. What could be the challenge that the president and Musalia Mudavadi are receiving serious heckling by the people? Of course, I had asked you this, but then again, if the president was, if the regime was doing something good, wouldn't the people have appreciated hata kama ni kidogo and not feel agitated? Is it that the people on the ground are feeling no impact from this government?
No, the things are hard, like I accepted. Sasa hii ambao mlikuwa mnasema Ruto must go home right now, he's not going home. He's going home if you vote him out in 2027. Na Gulu, wacha nikuambia kwamba when Moi was ruling, there was no maandamano, there was no heckling or anything like that. Some of us remember vividly when Moi was coming from Kakamega.
We did a lot of maandamano.
No, when Moi was coming from Kakamega to Kisumu, Raila Odinga alikwenda kwa Kisumu akamwambia watu msibweke kelele, msifanye hivi na hivi, kwa sababu in 1969, back in the day, when people booed Mzee Kenyatta, the army was already there and it shot a lot of people. So to come to right now vile yule kijana alikuwa anasema huyo wakati nani Alex ameajia platform kidogo, ni kwamba wacha kulia, pay taxes and let's go forward and improve the economy of Kenya. But if we cannot improve, Maze Guru, mimi nawaambianga, come up with ideas of what you want the people of Kenya to vote you for. But all you have is criticism of what Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza government, KK, is doing. Yeah, vile ninasemanga all the time. Right now, it is very difficult. Right now, we know that we will not win today the elections in Kenya. Lakini vile watu waliona, I mean, the wajuzi wa constitution waliona ni kwamba it is 5 years. So we have at least 3 years to either turn around or sink. And if we lose, we'll go home and keep quiet. Hakuna kitu ya kuendelea. There is no reason why the ODM, I mean, the Azimio people are always continuing right now to, to politic the way they are doing. We'll continue. We'll leave the Azimio, if it wins, we'll leave them at the stand so that they can prove to Kenya what they can do, and they will keep quiet. So we ask you to keep quiet and see how we are going to change the economy. Are things hard? I accept. Hakuna kitu ya kupigana hapo ati, we are doing great and this and that. All those worrying are relevant to the people of Kenya. And that is how the economies or the democracies develop. There has to be ups and downs. Right now, KK is down, and we accept that. But will we stay down forever? No, we'll change that. Thank you, Jax.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, Guru, go ahead before I come to Mr. G.
There is a prioritizing. Right now, the government is using almost 1 billion in renovating a house that has been in existence for over 117 years and has constantly been voted for some money for retouch and renovation, I believe so. So what is this you are telling us, that people are sleeping hungry and then money is spent in a most devious manner? Even sensitivity, there is no sensitivity for the poor. That is the problem. The problem is not paying taxes. The problem is where is the money going? I mean, how do you just spend 1 billion shillings when we have over 130,000 students who have not gone to school? Schools are crying for lack of funds. This is precisely what the problem is.
Care to respond, Penyagaka? Where is the money going? Are we getting our priorities right?
The money that is being used to renovate the State House in Nairobi, I think it was budgeted for. And those are the priorities that the KK government is doing. And then, yes, that's why I agree with you, Guru. If the corruption persists, and we accept that we are a young democratic country, if the corruption persists, don't even go there. Go to where you could really tell us how you could be better off than what this government is doing. If it was if it was a Azimio government doing anything, you guys fall for it. You don't ask a question. When Maraga requested to meet with Kenyatta, we didn't hear a word from Azimio or ODM at that time. Like when huyu mama Kome requests to meet with the Ruto, kwa sababu you hate Ruto, you will never ever see the positive results of what Ruto has done. Ukiendelea kuangalia the negative, yes, they are there. I will not even have to ask a question. Vile nilikuwa nakubali na wewe Guru. Life is hard today in Kenya. But let us not be selective in what we are, we are challenging or what we are criticizing. Let us be general in the idea. Maraga requested to meet with Kenyatta. Kenyatta said, forget you. And he never met him. But when it comes around the other way, you guys criticize and bemoan and everything. Thank you, Jax.
Alex, I saw your hand up. Are you ready?
Yeah, Jax. I totally disagree with Omoganga Penny, but because it's my uncle, there are things I may not tell him. But I have to sign off. I'm with some visitors here. Tutakutana kesho.
All right.
But I will be listening. Maybe nitarudi to listen maybe after 2 hours hivi. Kama bado utakuwa hapa. Because naona tumeenda only 1 hour 55. I agree with what Guru said. Pombe imepungua Kenya. Ni kwa sababu tax ya bia. Sasa hii bia inauzwa pesa ngapi Guru? Si ni karibu 300.
I don't know. I am not in that
Tusker and the normal stuff. Tusker, Pisna, and the rest, they are ranging from 250, which is too much for most Kenyans.
I don't know.
In a normal bar, in a small bar, it's about 250.
It's called Tusker Lager.
Yes, and of course, it's not the same price. There are those that have higher prices of 300, but the bare minimum is now coming to around 250.
Ile mkebe ni 300, eh?
Yes.
Okay. Na ni 300 ml.
So that's
watu wameenda chini. Watu wanarudi mashinani.
Yeah, that's why I was telling.
In fact, I think people making karobo and these other beer ya Omugusi will make a lot of money. Because now, you take that stuff somewhere in your homestead. And,
all right. Before I come to Julia, let me come to Mr. G. Mr. G, let me ask you this. Where is the money going? Because walitoa tax.
No, but to conclude. I want to conclude.
Sorry. You said you are leaving, so I didn't know when you... Okay, but go ahead. Sorry.
That is what I agree with Guru, but for Penny anafikiria Ruto hawezi tolewa. I don't know if Penny watched the ODM meetings the way zilienda kutoka Busia all the way to the coast. Sometimes you need to get educated to understand these things. But Penny amekataa kabisa kusikia. Tunamwambia Guru, nataka tena uambie Penny the state of the ground in Mount Kenya right now. Penny does not understand that. As I always say, nyinyi wa Kikuyu, you are the firstborn of Kenya. Kwa sababu mmeonja upresidency mara mbili na miaka nyingi. Nyinyi, you are the determinant. If you decide to compare Ruto tena 2027 ata win. So let me finish, Jax. We will talk later.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Alex.
Honorable Alex ni ndugu yangu sana, na mimi nilikuwa nasema nini, maybe nilikam mbaya kidogo, lakini nilikuwa nasema niko naye mpaka na tax wacha hatuna shida, tutalipa, tutaongea, tutalament, tutapiga kelele ngumu. It is what it is. How we're going to get more jobs so we can pay more taxes. Let's not say that how we're going to avoid taxes. No. Taxes is the only way that the country can grow.
Alex, tell your friend nobody is avoiding taxes. We pay VAT, you pay income tax. What is wrong with you? We've been paying taxes. Come on.
All right. Okay. Now allow me to continue. Mr. G, I wanted to ask you this. When you look at Uhuru, alikuwa na subsidies, alikuwa na vitu nyingi sana alikuwa anafanya ambazo zilikuwa zinatumia pesa, alright? Ruto came in, akazistop zote. So maybe I thought from where I sit, maybe pesa ita increase. Ruto came in, taxes ndio hizo zimeenda juu. Ruto said that we were doing so much borrowing. Penyaga Community TV. So by the end of the day, he's still borrowing. Taxes are increase, subsidies are metoa. My question to you is this: after all this, where is the money going? Because mwananchi bado ana complain. Where is the money going to? As Guru is asking.
Okay,
Mr.
Jex, to answer you where the money is. Yeah, just to answer you where the money goes. You know, this guy, wakati alikuwa anafanya na Uhuru kazi, he used to play as a victim. Na hiyo imekuwa karakta yake. Amekuwa akiplay kama victim. Kila wakati anaplay kama victim kupata ile audience ya watu. So on the issue of pesa, kwa sababu for me, I believe Uhuru was among the best president in Kenya. He cared for people. Alijali sana mama mboga kwa sababu yeye ndo ametoa ile linda mama, ilikuwa inasaidia wamama ambao hawana kazi, wamama ambao hawana pesa, wanaenda hospitali, wanajifungua, wanarudi nyumbani wakiwa wako sawa. So he's a person ambaye aliishi kwa state house, alizaliwa state house, ameishi state house, ameishi kwa utajiri, but he cared more to these people ambao ni mama mboga na bodaboda. He cared more to watu ambao ni maskini, aliwajali na akawa anajaribu alijaribu njia zote kuwasaidia. This guy purported to know everything. Akawa anatudanganya kwa yenda kwa anasaidia Uhuru kufanya kazi. Kumbe alikuwa msaidia Uhuru. Imejulikana kwa this guy alikuwa na sabotage Uhuru. This guy was sabotaging everything Uhuru alikuwa anafanya. Now to your question, where the money goes. Juzi tu muona Murkomen akipewa kiti ya CS ya cabinet secretary. Ameanza kuvaa mishipi ya 3 million, ameanza kuvaa saa ya 4 million, anavaa sport shoes ya more than 1 million. So where money goes ni hizo masuti ambao unaona. Ruto mwenyewe anavaa mshipi ya 5 million, 6 million. So corruption linachukua pesa zetu. Nothing else. Haja mama ameenda tu kuiba.
Yaani Mr. Juna maanisha mtu anaenda anakunjua mita moja anavaa kama mshipi.
Boss, watu wanatembea na pesa, siku hizi wanabeba kwa briefcase. Haujaona? Wanabeba pesa kwa briefcase. Wakitembea nazo. They don't care about mwananchi wa chini tena.
Kama hiyo mshipi ni hiyo pesa, interior deco I'm sure ni serious, but anyway, let's continue. Hiyo joke utaipata after the show. Now, Kenya Rebel, I'm sure you're in to get some jugular, but before you even do that, please answer me this. Where could be the money going? Because mwananchi has complained, bure. I don't think all these Kenyans are stupid. All these Kenyans cannot just be complaining because they have nothing to do. Someone among them all, atakama in the midst of that noise, nikelele too, but in the midst of that noise, there is a message. Why are Kenyans so agitated like that? Yes, Kenya Rebel.
Ya Jakes. Nitatoa tu sentence fupi alafu niende niko. From what I've been hearing. Unajua shida ni kuwa, Jakes unanisikia?
Nakusikia vizuri.
Shida ni kuwa nikisikia kila mtu hapa, and that's the biggest problem. We are so tribalistic. Ulisikia Alex aliingia hapa akatuambia ati sijui Simbarati is the only one who can sijui nini baba, and he was blaming Osoro. He forgets Simbarati vile alikuwa alichapa Didmas Baraza, vile Baraza alikuwa anaenda kwa ile ninio that whatever
in Langata
funeral.
No, it was a by-election in Kibra, I think.
Yeah, akamchapa huko. Why didn't he speak about that? Simbarati is just as bad as Osoro. Then you have Guru and Julia trying to convince us that Uhuru Kenyatta was better or whatever. Uhuru is the worst president in the history of humanity.
I didn't say Uhuru because he's a Kikuyu. Can you stop it? Come on.
Way.
We are talking about Uhuru and Simbarati, not Uhuru the Kikuyu. You are the tribalist. So wacha kuleta maneno ya ukabila hapa.
Uhuru.
But then again, Kenya Rebel, my
he talks
question
about Uhuru, let him give us reasons.
my question, Kenya Rebel had nothing to do with all the guys you're mentioning. My question was so
answering
specific.
it.
So that because that's the topic of the day. We didn't.
Yeah,
before you digress, yeah.
Jakes.
Yeah.
You say that this show is balanced, but you spend a lot of time talking about what this government is doing wrong, which is okay, but you don't mention.
Yeah, tell me the right thing without attacking.
I'm not attacking anyone.
The panelists have their rights as you know, because someone equally will come and oppose you, and I'll still.
What right is it doing? Let him tell us the right thing it's doing.
What right is it doing? Stop bringing Uhuru the Kikuyu here. You're a tribalist.
Yes.
I do talk about Kikuyu.
Tell us the right thing.
That's what is doing. Come on.
Bring the argument. Don't go to the panel. Yeah, go to your argument. Don't attack a person per se.
But
attack the point.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's when the shoe is on the other foot, you're okay with it. But when I turn it to the other foot, now you're uncomfortable. Listen,
I'm
Jakes,
comfortable with you. You know, for example, how would you feel? How would you feel? Please answer me this one directly.
You are
how would you feel if I would come as a panelist, yeah, not as a moderator? I attack all of you, including yourself. Belittle you.
How did I belittle anyone?
You know what you do, just argue facts, just argue your point, just say what the government is doing right. That is how you
who did I belittle and how did I belittle?
Yes, and stop bringing
when you say Alex did, Julia did,
can you stop it?
Your character, you are personifying the show, which is wrong.
I'm not.
Because talk of the issues. On my topic, on my thumbnail, I haven't mentioned the Guru anywhere, neither Julia, neither Alex, neither Kenya Rebel. Talk of what we are talking about. If they made the point, discuss that point. Argue from what they have said.
Jakes, are you going to let me talk or you're going
to assist Kenyan revolutionary? The issue is very simple.
Guru.
The issue is very simple. The thing is very simple.
Okay, stop, then I can go ahead and leave.
Right,
I wanted to make a point and leave. Guru, can you be quiet for a minute?
You don't attack my personality.
I'm not attacking your personality.
Don't call me together. Come on. I don't even know your tribe, Kenya Rebel. And I'm not interested to know your tribe.
Jakes, am I going to talk or not?
Go ahead.
Let me explain. I said the reason why I started with Alex and Osoro case, because Osoro is on Kenya Kwanza, and I know most of them don't like Osoro because it's Kenya Kwanza. And I mentioned this, that Simba Arati, who he was complaining that was shot by Osoro, Simba Arati did the same thing, not shooting, but he attacked Baraza Didmas. And he's saying that he's going to be the next thing after Raila Odinga. And the reason why he's saying that is because Simba Arati is his fellow Kisi. There's nothing wrong with that. And I argued my second time, the reason why I say Guru and Julia, any sane person who lived under Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto knows that Uhuru Kenyatta is the worst president in the history of Kenya.
Can you give us the reasons?
I will give you a reason. Thank you. I'm glad you asked.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
I will start. Number 1. This man openly defied and called the Supreme Court Wakora and shot Justice Musa.
Just like Ruto has done.
That is number 1. Ruto hasn't shot anyone. He didn't kill anyone. That's number 1. Number 2. I will go to number 2.
No, you're lying. Ruto did not kill anyone. Stop lying. We won't allow you to lie.
I will go ahead. Number 2. Him along with Maina Njenga killed Luos in Naivasha.
You are lying. Another lie again. Stop. Can you stop him for making false allegations here? This guy is a liar.
This is a mass murderer. Let's go to economy. The billions that he stole, didn't even reach Kenya. Went straight to his bank account. GB is exposing him. Go listen to Ilinio. These people stole. These are the debts that we are paying today. That this man stole. That we are paying for today. Your highway ambao Julia is trying to tell us that he built. We paid 5 times. We are paying 5 times.
Julia, this is
it's actually
Godfrey Ruto.
This guy
This
is
is
just
Uhuru
lying.
and Julia are
No.
only supporting Uhuru because he's a
This
fellow
is
Kikuyu
Ruto.
like them. They don't want
And
to
who,
face the
what tribe
facts
are
But
you?
now,
that
but now,
that
but now,
Uhuru
Wacha
Kenya
maneno ya
Rebel, Kenya
ukabila. Wewe
Rebel,
ni
president,
kabila
a
gani?
serial
Kenya
mass
Rebel,
killer that was taken to the Hague
Hapana. Kenya Rebel
along
should
with
be
his
Kenya
shut
Rebel,
family.
from talking the way he's
Kenya
talking.
Rebel,
Allow him. No, 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 no,
Kenya
no, no, no.
Rebel,
We
So I
don't
have to
allow
Julia,
him.
expose these
Kenya Rebel,
tribalists that
Julia.
claim
No,
this
You
no,
see, the
no,
problem
no,
are
is,
the
no.
ones who are leading
all
Kenya
right,
behind.
all right, all
They can't
right,
deal
all
with
right.
facts.
Now,
And
now,
I'm
you
done.
see, thank you. Now,
You are
the
done with
problem
speaking
is,
nonsense.
the problem is when you focus on attacking someone, one, the two things you normally many people do, they don't respond to the questions asked. Two, they probably miss out everything, including even if they had a correct point and a position to really bring out, they miss out easily because you want to your defense are all over. You know, you want to defend, you want to accuse, you want to criticize, but ukirelax too, your points will come out. You'll be able to tell us, um, this is what the government is doing. You'll be able to answer Jakes. Why are Kenyans agitated? Where is the
But
money
he kept on
going to?
interrupting me. So how do you expect me to
So
know if you're
when your
interrupting me?
guard is all over shooting everywhere,
Because
eventually you end up
you're interrupting. I had a good.
a serious sniper knows when to aim, when to shoot,
I'm
and
not a
when to
sniper.
fire.
I'm not a sniper. You interrupted me, Jakes, when I
Now, if
started.
you
When
cannot
you
get that simple English, then I think
no, you interrupted me when I was making my point. I was going to make
you
a
are.
perfect point
I
and
cannot
answer
help
you.
you. Then
I
go
was
ahead.
I was going to
Answer
answer
me.
you.
Answer my question without attacking anything irrelevant. Where is the money going to? What
There's
are the good things the government is doing? Don't go on this
Jakes.
died, who died. Those are
Jakes.
things we cannot personally we cannot prove. In any case, let's
We
be
can prove them.
factual.
What are you
Okay,
talking
tell
about?
me, we are a country governed by the rule of law. You are here always advocating for us to go to parliament and any other place.
Yes.
The laws are very clear. If you have evidence, table them. So, but before we go to those criminal part, let's talk of what is happening now. What made the show today? What made this topic today? I'm asking you, why are Kenyans so agitated to the level that they heckle a president, they heckle a cabinet secretary? What is the reason? It's not about Uhuru. It's not about who
It
died.
is
It's not
because his
about who is
policies,
alive. It's not about who is, the question is,
the decision of
what
yesterday
is,
affects you today. Nani
all right,
Jakes. The decision
all
of
right,
yesterday affects you today.
Jakes, I
okay.
cannot stay in this show with this kind of nonsense.
You can commit suicide for all I care.
Now,
This
Kenya Rebel,
no,
Kenya Rebel,
we have to call out this.
Kenya Rebel, with all due respect, Kenya Rebel, with all due respect, Kenya Rebel, with all due respect, I respect you totally, and you know that. But equally, mind how you speak to everybody in the show,
Kenyatta
regardless.
killed people, and people are defending him. I
Fantastic.
cannot
Now,
stand
I
that.
have never done this. I'll do it to you for the
Okay.
first time. All right, we can go on. All right, we have to have some. If you can't listen to me, then stage, backstage. All right, let's go on. Okay, Mr. G. Let me ask you, and I think I had asked you, where could the money be going? As much as you have
I think I
said
just
ni mambo na corruption and all, na kujifunga mishipi expensive and everything, but hii pesa ni mingi. It ought to, yes, iporwe skatai, but why is it that when we need to see development, because I would not lie and sit here and say hakukuwa na corruption time ya Uhuru. It was there. We had thefts left, right, and center. We had KEMSA. We had billionaires made out of graft. That happened. But my question is this, and I ask seriously, what could be informing the fact that we are losing a lot of money? We are still incurring debt. We are not, because one of the things that Ruto said is when you find yourself in the hole, you stop digging. Why is it that it's difficult for him to really manage the country, manage the borrowing, manage the looting? Yet he claimed to be the
okay.
man who has the steering in or
No,
knows what to steer, how to steer the country.
That was just propaganda. He was just propagating those things. Alikuwa anadanganya kwa he knows how to drive the country, he knows how to govern the country, but he doesn't know how to govern the country. He never had even a plan of this country. Okay, to answer you on where man goes, nilikuwa nimeongea kuhusu mambo ya mishipi na nini, but now ukweli ni kuwa look at the security, ile presidential escort, iangalie kwa sahihi ni watu wangapi ambao wameandika na wale watu ambao walikuwa wakati wa uhuru. Another thing, look at the trips that he's making every now and then. Those trips, si trip ambayo inachukua 10,000 ama 5,000 ama 1,000 ama 100,000. Those are millions of money ambazo zinatumika kwa those trips. Na akienda nje, hakuna kitu anakuletea, ni kuja tu kudanganya kuwa anatengeneza kazi, sijui vijana wetu waende India, sijui vijana wetu waende Germany, sijui vijana wetu waende wapi. But those are the things ambazo zinaharibu pesa zetu, zinakula pesa zetu. Those trips ambazo zinachukua hizo security ambayo ameongeza, amewadouble sijui karibu mara 3 the presidential security. When he came in the office, the first thing ambayo alifikiria ni kununua magari za around 700 million. Alikuwa ananunua gari yake, anunua gari ya Gachagua, anunue gari ya nani ya Mudavadi. Akatengeneza ofisi sijui ya bibi ya Mudavadi, watengeneza ofisi ya sijui the first daughter, sijui nini. So there are things about they are useless ambazo zimekuwa zikikula pesa yetu. There's no way bana, there's no way. Every time kama mtu anataka kugrow, as much as kulikuwa na madeni, you have to cut the cost. Kama unataka kusucceed wakati umelemewa na madeni, you cut the cost. Huwezi kuja unaishi more than what you get alafu una expect kwa the country itaendelea kwa sawa. It can't work. So on the issue of economy, on the issue of governance, jamaa maanguka. That's why we will never succeed and we never come out of this mess. Ni mpaka atoke tupate the new guys ambao they can lead us to where we want to go. He should go back to the people. Watu kama kina Raila, go back to the team ambayo ilikuwa inafanya kazi na Kibaki. Anaweza pata ideas, but at this time the guy ameonekana kuwa he's just a dictator and then he's just a guy ambaye hataki kusikiza anything. Hataki kuambiwa anything. Kila wakati anapopoti kuwa anajua everything, mpaka hata kukula. Unakumbuka wakati walikuwa wametoka kwa inauguration, anaanza kuongea kwa media mbele ya TV, anaongea anasema kwa hata watu wengine hawajui kukula wakati kwa ana attack Rigiji. Watu wengine hata hawajui kutumia kijiko. And is a guy ambaye ameonekana kujifanya anajua.
To be fair to Rigiji, some of these things no one is born knowing. Hizi vitu tunajifunza tu with time. In any case, you can have money but you can't buy class. So Rigiji at talent, those are not things that we can really hold against him, because whether he knows how to hold a fork, whether he has a degree, diploma and all that, those ones are things that mtu personally ujitafutia, how to sit in public, how to, hizo ni vitu.
But the president mwenyewe anasema
I want us to focus on the germane things.
Okay. I was trying to tell you what the president used to do, and even when behave with his character is a person about he knows everything. He doesn't listen to any advice. That's where we are going wrong. Kwa sababu he doesn't listen to any advice. Anataka kujifanya anajua mpaka kwa cabinet. Hizo cabinet zote anajua kushinda wale watu ambao ameweka kazi. There's no way, hata kama wewe ni director, there's no way utasema unajua kila kitu mpaka umeshinda wale watu ambao umeandika wote. Wewe unajua kila kitu. Hakuna, it doesn't work. Watu wanaandika watu ambao they are professional. So those people ambao kwa hizo docket they are professional, awache wafanye kazi yao. Awache kujifanya anajua kila kitu. He doesn't want to listen to anyone. Yeye amefail this country because of how he carries himself.
Now, I want to come to you, Julia. There's something you raised because I was listening to this. You said of what Mama Margaret Kenyatta was able to do in her tenure, being the first lady. She did what she couldn't do directly. She ran. Remember the Beyond Zero marathon? We saw her run. We saw her seek money, and when the tracks didn't work, what did she do? She began building the hospitals. We have several that even are named after her. I love what Mrs. Second Lady, Mrs. Dorcas is doing. She's focusing on the boy child. I see her doing a lot in the prisons. I even saw her the other day here in Nakuru. I saw what she did. I'm seeing her coming out strong and really defend the boy child. And I admire that because it's an initiative. and we cannot all do the same thing. We cannot all build hospitals, but we must stand for something. She maybe began by, now I'm talking about Rachel Ruto, maybe she began by adapting Kakamega Forest, which was a good initiative. I hope and I wish she maybe embraced the environment or something. But why is it that we are yet to see a project fully funded by the office of the First Lady? Because these offices are funded before we even forget about so many other things. These offices, money is channeled to these offices. We have a budget for these offices. um how would you explain, I don't know if you can, but how would you describe the office of the First Lady now vis-a-vis of what we have had before? Of course, Margaret Kenyatta brought a twist to it because we didn't have it during Moi's time. His wife and him divorced, or rather parted ways until he died. She died. We didn't hear much about her. But for Uhuru and Kibaki, the wives brought in. We remember Margaret, the wife of Kibaki. The choir is still there. We can mention a few things about her. What could be the challenge with the current First Lady? What could she be having as a challenge? Why are we yet to see her hit the ground running? Yet time is running. By the end of the day, baada ya miaka miwili mitatu tunaanza campaign tena, hakutakuwa na excuse anymore. Itakuwa ni all systems go, either to give them a second chance or we get a new regime. Why is it that office of the First Lady bado haija hit the ground running?
I don't, Jake, honestly, my heart goes out to that lady. And I wouldn't want to be in her shoes because I think she has no say. She's in a box where she's just surviving and praying the next day comes when she's still there and alive. Because if you see the character of Ruto, how G has described him, he's a man. First, I think he doesn't know the meaning of delegation. Another thing, I think he's a president, he's a deputy president, he's a cabinet secretary for everything. He's the one in treasury. He's even the one. So the first, if those people who work with the president have no say, I think the first lady will be the last person, because unajua wanawake usually tunavumilia, tunafunikanga dhambi za bwana zetu na hatutaki dhambi zionekane. So she will not come out if she knows that this one will cross the husband's path. She will not come out to do anything. And when you talk about budgeting, and there is a budget, there must be a budget for the First Lady's office. I think there is a budget, but she has no control over that budget. She doesn't even have a say of what to do with that money. And that goes to how the money is being spent by State House. And the money is being spent by State House according to what the president says. And that is why I go back to my point. Ruto is overwhelmed. He thought that hii serikali ni kama ile shamba yake ya kuku ya Sugoi, lakini ameshikwa na mshtuko kwamba kumbe hii kazi ni kuku. But he can't let go because he's that kind of a person. He's that kind of a character. Unaona he's swearing in public ati mnaniongelesha nani? Mnafikiri PM ama hii ni you know, he can't buy that. Unaona sasa wewe fikiria wewe ni First Lady. Jake, put yourself in that lady's shoes. At unaishi State House, at you want to sponsor some hospital somewhere, before discussing with bwana yako mwenye hata wenye wanafanya kazi na wewe hawawezi dhubutu kumwambia anything. My heart, it is not that Rachel is a bad person. The only bad thing about her is that she has lived with that man for all those many years.
All right.
Tolerated all that. But I don't say it is bad with her. It's just like any other African women that we wait and hope, keep hoping someone will change, and they never change. So huyo mama si kupenda kwake, hawezi fanya anything Jake. Hawezi, I mean, wacha tu, let us now ni mtetee. Hata kama ni bibi ya Ruto, wacha mimi kama mama, I try and look at her with sympathy, that I don't think she can move any project. That's my, yeah.
Guru, same question. Why are we yet to feel an impact from the office of the First Lady? Because other offices before her, kuna time hata watu wakakuwa sema Lucy Kibaki is the president. I don't know if you remember, she was she was almost leading the country, yeah, and they were saying the president is so quiet, Kibaki, then Lucy ako all over. I remember at one time they had to defend themselves, who is the first lady. Come to Kenyatta, same, we saw the first lady. We could even see her feature in the news. We could feel her, we could see her participate in games that, I remember one time I participated in one, and the initiative was good. She was able to mobilize Kenyans, to with an idea, an objective, twende tukimbie kwa sababu ya maternal health, preventing mother to child death and all that. Why? Mbona tutafili office? Yes, Mr. G, before I come to Guru. Yes.
Yes, before Guru comes in, I want you to address this guy. This guy anaitwa G Ramsey, sija anaitwa nani kwa comment section. This guy is talking things shit. Just address this issue. Huyu jamaa aache tukosee heshima.
No. Comment section, as I always said, issue iko na kila mtu, and I let me talk to everyone now. We get everyone,
but right? They should have respect.
And just one moment, just one
they should have respect. Hata kama ni everyone.
Just a moment. And at times we say things that not everyone, including me, don't agree with, but we allow it. Why? Because we must be understanding. The only thing that we shouldn't do, and maybe that's what I would say, let's not be tusi, let's just address the issue. It's good to disagree, and that's what we call a debate. We cannot all be proposers or opposers. We must have both sides, right? Now, my desire would be, and my reasons, and I think I've always said, I personally don't support any side. I'm here to listen to you because you guys listen to us. Right now, we have over 70 people looking at the show, watching the show live. Yeah, I know you can see that. We have many participating in the comment section. We have so many feedbacks all over. So all these people, they want to hear the diversity. They want to hear Julia's argument. They want to hear Guru's argument. They want to hear Mr. G's argument. And as much as you can be in Azimio, but funny enough, you guys don't reason the same. Equally, kwa comment section, wataingia in always, just one moment, wataingia in always, kuna msea kwa comment section, hakupendi, and as the moderator, I cannot make that person love you. Atasema anything, anaweza ingia hapa because anapenda Guru and how Guru anaongea. Each time Guru just like when you get a good pastor kwa church, utakuta msea ana shout amen more than everyone. That doesn't mean that any other pastor is not a good pastor. It depends. But anyway, my point is this. Achana na comment section. These guys are just but amazing. They are the other team. They are the comment section. We have those who are viewing without even commenting, and everyone is making this show a success. Both you, as you are talking, yeye akiwa kwa comment section, Guru akiwa hapa, and tuvumiliane na tutakosana sana. Wacha nikwambie, tunakosana kwa hiyo vibaya sana, because why?
Kukosana si shida.
Issue ni wacha tuwe tu na kiasi, tuwe na kipimo, tusikue na matusi. All right, I think we are good.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying, Jex. Akinichezea sawa, but hizo vitu ambazo anaongea kwa comment aachane na hizo vitu. Let's go. Wacha tuongee UDA na hiyo vitu zingine.
All right. I feel you. All right. Yes, Mr. Guru, why is that office yet to make an impact? And that's why I'm equally telling you, utavumilia issue saa zingine wataingia watakusinya, but you can imagine how I feel as the moderator. Mmekosana and you guys are supposed to be brothers. How do you think But anyway, let's go on.
Let me first make a disclaimer.
Yeah.
I have no problem with divergent views. In fact, I think I've met Mr. Pen Nyagaka for many shows, and I don't remember any time. And we don't agree. We don't take same line of thought. But I have not found him to go personal, to divert topics in a manner to just here. you ask somebody a very simple question, because that's what we are doing here, is an audit. What has the government done? We are saying what it has not done. Come and tell us what it has done. Convince us. That is precisely the kind of debate I would want to get involved in. But not about who is married, who is not married, who was divorced, and that kind of thing. Like I see some people commenting here about some particular persons. Anyway, we normally have such people cannot be in it. But for me, I often choose to walk away. Yes, because they are a vexation to the spirit. So I often choose to walk away.
Yeah.
That's my way of dealing with such people.
Guru, nimeona hiyo comment.
I often walk away.
Unajua hata sijazisoma, mnanifanya nirudi comment section na mimi na focus na nyinyi kwanza. Wadau.
Yeah, some
Wadau,
comments si mzuri. Some comments si mzuri.
Okay, juicy.
What is the comment? Who even commented? I am not, because I'm focusing on the show. Let's focus.
Can you imagine I'm living in the United States and I'm
Julia, you have to respond to that.
No, Julia, let me say sorry. Let me say sorry for one thing.
No. You don't have to apologize, Jake.
I'm saying,
I'm very okay. Let me tell you something. You don't have to apologize. Because can you imagine I'm living in the United States, Naniko, South Carolina. Now what they don't know where I live. They don't know I live with who. They have never seen my family. What do you say of that, Jake? You just ignore it and you count it as high level of ignorance.
Thank you. Yes. Very good. Thank you, Julia. Actually, I celebrate that. We should adapt that. Anything negative, let's avoid it. Let's stick to the show, right? Let's stick to the, because I'm telling you, Guru, kuna mtu atasema hapa kitu sikieka utafunga show. Mi wanaambia vitu zingine hapa, I'm like, there are people who love you. There are people even who hate you, almost even twice than those who love you. But if you focus on them, you'll forget even what was your topic ukianza show. So let's focus on, niangalie mimi, hata kuingia comment section, niangalie mimi tu ndio nitaingia comment section to thank them for participating, because they are equally doing another good one. But let's go on, Mr. Guru. Before I even forget what I'd asked you about the first lady.
Yeah.
and the office of the first lady.
Let's go back to the topic.
Yeah.
Now, the office of the first lady is actually an official office with staff and a functional with the salary and other benefits. So for this office not to have come out strongly to hold one theme, because I think mostly it has to do with the personality of the first lady. The theme that the wife to the former president Uhuru Kenyatta did was to take the theme of maternal healthcare. This one is not come out clearly what she is pushing. The first time I heard she was going to adopt a certain part of the forest somewhere in Western Kenya. From there, we never heard of anything else. We thought she was going, environmental, activist or whatever we may call her. And then we also heard of this joy war. It's really about type of banking and the rest. Then it also went under. So the current first lady has not come out clearly to project a certain line, of service to the society. And that is worrying because her office is budgeted for. There is money that is allocated to that office every year. So that one, it's not known how it is, such funds are being spent. Let me just put it plainly that way. the wife to Rigathi, which I don't know whether it is an official office, because what I know is the first lady. She's trying to come out with the issue of advocating for the boy child. She's at least come out in a way that the society can identify her with a certain project. That has not come out with the first lady, and I do not know why. And I don't want to second guess anybody here because I don't know. I don't sincerely know why she's not come out strongly with a theme that would define her office. Yet her office is fully furnished with the staff and funded by the taxpayers. Yes.
Mr. G, we still have the office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary. His wife has an office. It was even launched. We even had a party for the same. What happened? What happened?
I don't know what happened because sijaijua kazi yake ni nini. I don't know which work alikuwa ametengewa. That's why I told you that this is the place where pesa zetu zinapotelea. Those things ambazo hazimake sense. Those offices ambazo hazitusaidii. That's where our money inapotea. Wana tax every place, every corner in our life. Wana cause frustration to people ambao hawana pesa, lakini hizo pesa zote zinaenda kwa vitu ambazo hatusaidii. So that office ilikuwa launched. Millions of money was spent on that office. But mimi sijaijua inafanya kazi gani. Sijaiona inafanya kazi gani. So watu, and what I can tell you Jackson, ni kuwa the UDA government wana overspend. They overspend.
Guru wako bado tu kwa comment section, but ni sawa.
No, but comment section hatuna shida.
Sorry, honestly, Jake, I can't avoid laughing.
Yes.
That Julia isn't even married.
Yeah.
But I'm sure today you have a thick skin, right? And please, I apologize, please. I do apologize. You know, one day I went to another live. I think it was a politician, and I personally feared being a politician. Mwenye, if I ever be that level, me comment section nitakuwa nazima for one reason, man. And that guy was doing a good thing. Personally, from where I see, the guy was doing a good thing. But what was comment section? They're good.
I understand. You know, I really don't allow that to annoy me, Jake, because if you ukiingilia maisha personal ya mtu, first, see, all of us here, we've never met face to face. So
correct.
I really don't know bibi ya Jake anakaa aje, ama akona bibi ama hana, ama alifukuza bibi jana. I don't know bibi ya Guru anakaa aje, ama Guru akona watoto ama hana. So if I make a blanket conclusion about you here, Jake, it will be wrong because it will be out of ignorance, and that just shows me my level of thinking. Because these people here commenting, they don't know I live where, with who, or who doing what. No. They don't know the kind of environment I live or what I'm doing. I mean, they may know very little. They may know I'm in the US, and they may have an idea I'm a high school teacher because wanasikia nikisema maneno ya wanafunzi. Lakini they may not even know what kind of a family I have. So ukisikia mtu akicomment hivyo, what do you think? You just ignore them. So if you become a politician, Jake, you'll just ignore them. You won't fight with each and every person who says something. Look at Kebaki, how he used to behave when Lucy used to do all that drama. If Kebaki was going to react, he can resign it too. So I think if you decide to come on such a show and people say all these, people may say, hata kuna mtu atakuja hapa kwambia nataka ukue bibi yangu. What will you do? You start throwing stones and picking a fight with them? No. Yeah. You just ignore them. That is my attitude. So, Guru, don't worry about that person.
I think Ruto just wants to provoke because now he's gone further to say that people to open up their windows so that the surrounding is seen.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's
Let's
all
go
talking
on.
about
Let's go on. You know, and also I told you, let's if we choose to focus there, we will lose. Why? We have another group. You know, as I told you, we have many watching, many, because the comments here have not outweighed those watching. Unanielewa? So I have to balance both those commenting and those watching, because there's a reason people are sitting to watch. All right. And you see, I'm equally doing a disservice to them. I'm not projecting the comments, and not everyone can see the comments. So at times I avoid the fight in the comment, because I haven't projected it. What I project is what maybe we discuss. So don't fight them. These are good guys.
Hata kuna mtu Jake, hata kuna mtu ameambia mwingine hapa aonyeshane bibi yake kwanza ndio aendelee.
Wamefanya mpaka kuna mtu ameni inbox so many photos to prove a point, but just leave them. Let's
5 photos. I mean, come on, that is being petty. So I think
let's go on. We have already taken how many minutes, but it was a commercial break. We have taken like 5 minutes discussing. And you know, funny thing, you don't know the person. You have never seen them, and you're even not sure if that name ameandika hapo ni jina, because Google can allow you to have a different name.
Yes.
So don't allow it to bother you so much.
And you will you might never meet them. We might never meet. We'll never
in this app. All right. Yeah, you might never meet. And even when you meet, you might not know you're meeting.
Yes. So
you might not know you're meeting. All right. So let's discuss what everyone came in to see. Everyone came in to hear, why is it that Kenyans are angry with one William Ruto, the president, and equally his cabinet? All right. Kenyans want to know, why are we booing? You know, because this is not our culture. We are not known to be booers. Yes, we do boo. Yes, we do jeer. All right. But now when it becomes almost every other day, this is what we are doing. Something is not wrong. Mwananchi is agitated. Mwananchi has anger that needs to be addressed, because if we can't quench it now, it might run out of hand. Allow me to come to you, Madam Julia, and ask you this. At one point, we saw positive change from the cabinet. We would mention several cabinet ministers doing something. Taikagwe was doing something, even if they're not doing anything important, but at least they would make news. At times, tunaweza maliza wiki mbili bila kusikia any cabinet any feature in the news, either to bring in something good, something bad. Okay, to see what hata na controversy, because that one happens at least every other day. But why is it he equally can fate be so bad that you equally don't attract a team that attracts positivity? Because his team is equally yet to attract positivity. We cannot single out some key players. You know, kwa Uhuru, we could even mention some CAS, what do you call them, chief administrative or whatever, ambao walikuwa wanafanya kina Mwagangi, you remember them, wale wa health, they were doing something. Our I'm yet to I knew PS Hinga mapema sana. I knew several PSs mapema kwa sababu of what they were doing. Kwa hii I'm reserved. I reserve what I want to say. But what do you make of the team working with him?
Maybe, Jake, we should look at the team at one by one, and then we can ask ourselves, what does that tell us? Okay, tuanze na Aisha Juma. Mwingine tunajua ni huyu wa education, Mashogu. To somebody give me the CSs, because I may not. Kuna Kuria.
Oh, I can help you with that. We have Moses Kuria. We have some. Is it Sami or Samuel or Sani Mburia? We have we have Rebecca Miano. We have there are many. We have this Alice.
Mwenye alikuwa ameiba nyumba.
We have huyu wetu wa Nakuru anaitwa Zakari. We have we have several. Yeah. So Tell me, what do you
Okay.
think of them?
Now we can now go back and compare with the cabinet secretaries wa Kibaki na Uhuru. Wacha tuchukue wa Kibaki wa Uhuru because we are the ones we can remember, and just compare various dockets. For example, we compare CS for education, Mashogu, and CS for education we had who? The late, what was his name again?
Magoha.
And we also had Matiang in that docket at one time, right? So if we compare I think first and foremost,
Amina Mohammed has been winning awards even after her office. Imagine.
Yes. Amina Mohammed
was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? She won an award. There's an award she won.
She won something. So these guys,
there's something she won even after, meaning there were things they were doing that if Kenyans didn't see, the world saw. How comes with this regime, I don't know if they will feature in the world.
No, they will not feature. They not feature because they show me your friends and they tell you who you are. So Ruto, just like I described him before, he's a kind of a character that he's a Moi kind of a character, but he's worse. I think he's worse than Moi. He doesn't think you can tell him anything. So he can only work with somebody that he has to tell. Okay? Not somebody who can suggest that Mkubwa, tunaweza fanya 1, 2, 3. He cannot work with those kind of people. And that is why Kuria seems, unaona Kuria alisukuma kiasi, unajua Kuria akona kiherehere ingine, na I think Kuria cannot keep his mouth shut. So I think he has taken his mouth to the cabinet, and I think maybe the president may not like it so much. And before on Kuria, I don't know whether Kuria and the president are doing. So the president will not work with people who can say no, who can tell him we can do this, or who can work. He wants people he has to direct what to do. And I will ask you a question as I conclude. You people here, you tell me. But on the other hand, if we look at Uhuru's government, first I want to agree with you. I was very disappointed with Uhuru because he didn't fight corruption. And I thought he's a another hands-off man, and I didn't like that too. But one thing I liked with Uhuru's government is the kind of people he worked with. One of them that live to talk about is Fred Matiang, Dr. Fred Matiang. You people, you remember when Fred Matiang was in information and what? Squiri alitufuata, mnakumbuka tukifungiwa TV. You people, do you remember that one day we woke up and our TVs had been shut after Matiang had warned us to move from analog to digital.
Even phones.
Yeah. He
removed those China phones that were I don't know if Guru ulikuwa umeangukia those phones that even had TV in there. You remember those phones that ilikuwa hadi na TV, it was remember those phones, bwana Guru? Yes, Julia.
That was Matiang. Aya, akatolewa hapo, akapelekwa mtihani. Matiang akasema mumezoea kuiba mtihani. The end has come of cheating. Me, I was still in Kenya then, and I thought it was a joke because I had watched 2015 KCSE. I had seen a math paper being displayed by Stan TV. Now the same exam was done the next day. Matiang'i alisema 2016, you will not cheat. And he meant, alisema, you will not cheat, you will never cheat again. You will know who I am, Matiang'i, because you'll never cheat again. Didn't he stop it? Aya, Matiang'i akapelekwa kwa internal security. Matiang'i ndiye amesukuma Al-Shabaab. Do we hear Al-Shabaab anymore? Watu walisema sijui ya Kenya sijui imefanya nini, sijui Matiang'i amefanya nini, sijui nini. People said things, but we were at peace. Okay? Now, if you look at Makoha also equally performed. Now, if we go back to Kibaki's frame, we can talk about Mechuki. Munakumbuka Mechuki? Wherever Mechuki went, Mechuki performed. So what I want to say is that Ruto is not the kind of a person to work with with performers. Let me ask you, which normal president can nominate somebody like Aisha Juma as cabinet secretary? Which normal thinking president? Which mwenye akona kichwa mzuri tu alienda shule na akasoma? With which normal presidents that wants his government to perform will nominate people like Aisha Juma to be in the cabinet? If come president let's imagine that something happened in this life, and ya Mungu ni mengi, tumekuwa tukipiga story hapa na wewe Jake. Ya Mungu ni mengi. Jake, you find yourself as president of the Republic of Kenya. And umepata Kenya iko pale chini, shilingi inaelekea chini, everything is going downhill. Free fall. If you have a normal head, you will sit down and call yourself a meeting and look for technocrats and people with brains who will rescue from where you are. And because if your intention will be to make things better, you will not work with Aisha Jumwa. You will, hata kama alikuchangia sana siasa, utasema tu wacha Kenya wataona nimefanya kazi kwa kuwa na kufanya kazi na watu kama hawa. So Ruto is not that kind of a person. So the people he's working with will not perform, have never performed, will never perform. You'll never hear them anywhere. Mitihani itaendelea kuibiwa in the eyes of this Mashogu man. Everything will be going downhill. First, for one reason, some of them have a problem with their mental capacities, their schooling and all that. And then Ruto cannot allow them to work. So they have two reasons affecting them. They were not programmed for that kind of a job. Secondly, Ruto will not allow them to be independent. So not hear anything about any cabinet secretary in even somebody like Mudavadi maybe angepewa serikali, but Mudavadi is not remembered for good things. Sijui ni nani angepewa serikali mzuri angefanya kazi. Mimi nimetafuta kwa hiyo serikali nimekosa. So Jake, don't be surprised. Don't even expect anything. Just don't even hear anybody has done anything. The worst you will hear is Kuria insulting us. Asante. I hope nimekujibu.
Guru, it's long since I had a president complain about his cabinet, saying, if I'm a president and I know more than you, then there's a problem. Yet then again, this is his team. He selected it uncoerced, unpushed by anyone, if that is English. Ni yeye kujichagulia. Hii si yenye baada ya kujichagulia kuna kitu inaenda ukarabati mahali, kwa sababu hata parliament, whatever he said, he was given. In fact, some of the words Mbadi one time said was, let's give William Ruto his skunk. That's the word he used. Wacha tumpe uchafu wake. Of course, he used these gibberish words that, of course, garbage in, garbage out. What do you make that the president can lament that in my team, I don't have, when I know something more than you, then there's a problem. At what point does it become that a CS kazi yake inakuwa tricky mpaka prezo anateta mbele ya watu, you know, during I remember during performance signing contract, hata kuna CS walifungiwa mlango ja kuche that day, just like today, what Jakes has done, what he has never done. That day the president alifium yake yote. What do you make of it?
The character of Ruto is that of a very self-centered person who comes out as a hands-on also. And some would know it all. However, that's not to say that his sentiments were not correct, that some of the CSs were mere flower boys and girls because they do not know how to run a government or a government department. But what did he expect? When you just fish out a politician, somebody who has just been politicking since she was young or he was young and has never done any management, that is what you expect. So I'm not surprised that the highest premium in appointments for Ruto is royalty and a person who went to the crowd to look for votes for him. So that is his main consideration in picking the people who now form the cabinet. And because of that, most of them are lacking in ability. And also the fact that at personal level, is a controlling person. That's why you do not hear any of them making statements to the media. Because you know, when you have a boss like that one, you would also fear to contradict what he is going to say next. You might contradict his statements, or you might be embarrassed in the following day when he makes a contradictory statement to what you made. So the best thing is to keep quiet. That is precisely what it is. Yes.
Now, thinking about it, when we look back, we can count several performing CSs. When we look back, we can be able to say the president didn't work alone. He had a team. Here in Kenya Kwanza, do we have a team? Do we have a team, or is it almost a one-man show?
We don't have a team. We don't have a team. And that is the difference between Kibaki, Uhuru versus Ruto. Because the two previous presidents gave you work, and yours was to deliver and talk with authority in the docket that he has given you. That's why you could get briefings from almost all the ministers on matters pertaining to their dockets. But today it is difficult because they do not want to contradict their boss, who is also very indulging. You remember him saying that there will be no El Nino, only for it to come in some parts of this country in such a furious manner that the head of Met department had to go around apologizing, for having misread the country, and yet it is not him who had done it. Somebody had to take the hit. So that is the situation in the government. And you also remember, it was it Julia who said it's farmer number one, teacher number one, architect number one, environmentalist number one, father number one, Nini number one. So there is a more philosophy of political governance.
You rightfully say, and I agree. In the previous presidents, we could almost say, including the president himself, at one point he said, when I was the agriculture minister, when I was the minister for education, he could count, he counts up to today, things he did in their previous regime. That's fantastic. Equally, he comes out and say, when I was a DP, I did ABC. Then let me first begin with him before I go to his cabinet. Him, why is it that now that he's the man on the steering wheel, the man now driving, he's not, what he's doing, what he has is not delegated to him. It is something vested on him by the people of Kenya. What he has in his office has a security of tenure. He cannot be sacked by his appointing authority unless through the ballot, and that is by an election. So what he has is almost the total absolute control. So he's the one steering the ship. He is the captain. Why, when he is the captain, we are yet to begin folding our fingers with some of grand achievements that when he was the cabinet, whatever appointed minister, he bragged about. When he was a DP, he bragged of what he was doing in Jubilee. As a president now, why is he unable to deliver? What could be the problem? Is it that maybe he undermined the office, not knowing that it called for higher calling, called for higher responsibility, higher capability, higher mental status and all? What could be causing the challenge that him now as the captain? Yeah. We are having a challenge, and a great one for that matter.
There are various methods of administration. There is command administration, where you just use the protocol like happens in the armed forces or the police. You are not expected to give your views. You are expected to go and do what you have been ordered to do. And the orders come from above, cascading downwards.
Yeah.
Then you have a democratic administration where you discuss in a structured manner and agree this is the way forward. Let's do this. Then there's a laissez-faire where you each does his own thing out there. So it all depends also on the personality, in the sense that this is a person who was tutored in a command and administration. Then he also happens, unfortunately, to have a deputy who was a DO, who are used to command. So it reinforces that command system. And it has its own benefits, it has its own downside, but in this case, particularly because of the constitution we have, it has more negatives than positives. So that is why you find the CSs are obscure. You cannot see them. Sometimes they disappear for months because them, although they have what they have prepared to do, they have to ask. There is a lot of bureaucracy. They have to be certain that is exactly what the boss wants. Even for very basic things. Yes. So that has its own disadvantage because it could mean delays in doing some things.
Now, I have a question now concerning some of the cabinets. Let's go back to Musalia. Today he says a statement that it's more of a proverb, or rather ni mafumbo. Very soon, we will make an announcement, really, when a government is working, when a government things are working, will the government be the one to tell us, or as you I think earlier said, mwananchi ata notice too, but here they want to announce what could be on the pipeline? I'm sure this is a difficult question because I am sure you don't know, but looking at our status, our economy, from where will the rescue come in, so that when they announce it, will say enyewe ama ni mafuta ikianguka bei, that will be maybe the mega announcement, or what could be that one thing that Musalia was relying on, because a drowning man will catch at a straw. What is that straw of hope he was trying to help Kenyans see that very soon they'll be making an announcement? What do you think that could be?
I would want to look at that thing on two fronts. One, it is a manifestation of how gagged these people are. That he could be knowing something of public nature, but he's in such a situation that if he says it and he's not supposed to be the one to say it, their boss must be seen to be the driver. Then you have violated one of their terms of engagement. That's one. Number two, it could be just a way of managing the expectations of the people. There could be nothing much that really is coming, because let's even assume, because they signed this European Union trade agreement, let's even assume that they agreed the fish from Lake Victoria could find some markets. I don't know. It's just a speculation. Would that be a momentous announcement? I don't know. So I would also wonder why a leader of that nature would go to leave people in such suspense. If you don't want to tell people something, just keep quiet until that time when such a thing is ready to be said.
Mm-hmm.
But to go in a rural place like that one and tell people that soon something is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not the way to administer a country.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is not.
Now, even as we near wrapping, because I have like 20 minutes thereabout, we have let's finish up. Okay, we cannot really finish up all the CSS, but let me go to the deputy president. What equally played out during the weekend was Nyoro him Tasso, yeah, where the supremacy had, of course, the president had to make a statement. Didn't the Nyoro equally had to say, we are fully backing the president and his DP. But when you look at that cycle, that poll already, why is it that already Gashagwa is a person that many, I don't know if you saw the number of MPs are gagging against him, including from his own backyard. Yet we never saw this happening before. We have never seen a DP being fought from his backyard. Ruto got all the support he got from his backyard, as much as we had Alfred Cartel and all, but the support was quite humongous. That Akina Cartel never said we change Ruto, we put Murkomen. They just fought Ruto endlessly, you know. But and equally they didn't try. Of course, they had their own issues. But Gachagua, they're even calling for his replacement come 2027. The president had to cool down the moment. It was picking up. It was really picking up, that fight between who replaces him. Yet it's only 1 year. Why is it that people are yet to embrace Gachagua, either as the spokesperson of Mount Kenya, because he still has a fight with Maina Jenga? Why is it difficult for the mountain to really quick, fast replace Uhuru Kenyatta's ideologies and all, and now embrace Gachagua? I don't know if even you saw the clip. It's because it is in vernacular, but someone was able to interpret for me of a huge gathering of Kikuyu people praying and asking for forgiveness from Uhuru Kenyatta. I don't know if you have seen that clip. But in any case, what do you make of that status of DP Gachagua?
That is yet another of the Moi political tricks and the strategies straight out of his script book. That's how Moi managed politics. You light fire under somebody's feet. You move at a distance, or the feet is being roasted. It is hard to say enough. And it serves two purposes. One, it weakens the person from consolidating the power, like Rigathi, because right now Rigathi should be consolidating at least the Mount Kenya power. But knowing his boss, knowing where he's come from, and knowing the tutorage that he got, he must be kept on the edge so that he does not grow too strong as to become a headache and start demanding too much as we head for the next elections. It happened to Kibaki. It happened to others, including George Saitoti. It's just a more political 101, managing politics. You heard somebody talking of a hidden hand. Where do you think that hand is? Do you think that's a very is a hand out there? The hand is right at the core of the government. And in saying that, I know you understand what I mean. The person lighting fire under Rigath's feet is just standing next to him. You understand? Because Rigathi is proved he is not a pushover. Even in getting that position, did not just come. He muscled his way through against many odds, including being rejected by the whole lot, and with the preference being Kideki, but he managed to get it. He muscled. He actually pushed his way through. So his boss knows he can, if he given his room, perhaps he can consolidate himself and become a headache.
Okay.
So he has to be managed. It's just a management style. Yes.
Now, my final question to you would be on education. I think this one was well raised by Julia, and we saw some CSS performing. Now, here is now another situation. It's not just about them performing. It's about our children missing out on school. The figures will shock you. I want to play a footage as I wrap up. I pray you bear with me. It's a footage on the state of our education, because this one here explains the number, the figures, where these children, which counties, and where exactly are the numbers in high, because we have a huge chunk of our kids who are yet to join Form 1. And that's a whole generation. That's a whole generation. 130 thereabout kids away from school. It's not a small figure. 130 is, some would say, a whole constituency somewhere. All right. So when you see such figures being fronted around of the number of kids who are yet to join Form 1, all right, what comes to your heart? Let me play that clip, and then you will help me discuss that, and then we wrap up. All right.
Let's shift to matters education. And since schools reopen on January 15th, thousands of students admitted to Form 1 have not yet reported, with fears that they risk dropping out. And 3 weeks into the first term of the year, the government is yet to meet its 100% transition target, with the Ministry of Education now planning to launch a campaign to locate more than 131,000 students who have been admitted to Form 1 and are yet to turn up. Beldin Waliaula with more.
Mercy Mloko, a 14-year-old girl from Zalae, Mwingi West, Kitui County, is pleading for help from well-wishers after scoring 343 marks in her KCPE, but has not yet joined Form 1. Mercy received a calling letter to join Thitani Girls Secondary School, but due to lack of school fees, she's still at home.
Nilikuwa na maki 343. Nimeitwa shule ya upili ya Thitani na sijaenda shule kwa sababu ya ukosefu wa pesa. Ningetamani sana kwenda shule nitimize ndoto yangu ya kuwa wakili.
Nilijaribu kupeleka mtoto shule. Mwalimu akaniambia kitu ya kwanza niende nipange mtoto kuripoti. Kitu ya kwanza ni 22,000 ndio inatakikana shule.
Mercy is among some 126,000 students who have been allocated Form 1 slots in various secondary schools but have yet to take them up. By Friday last week, only 1,268,185 students had reported to class, 2 weeks after the official reporting date of January 15th. Data seen by KTN News shows that some 1,394,444 students were selected to join Form 1, out of which only 1.2 have been admitted to secondary schools and 5,723 others have reportedly joined vocational institutions. However, a fortnight into the first term, the Ministry of Education and Interior are on a mission to trace the missing students. To date, only 91% of students have reported, with the government hoping to achieve the 100% transition to secondary schools by the end of this week. Bungoma County is leading with students who are at home. 11,538 students are yet to take up their Form 1 slots in Bungoma, followed by Kajiado with 10,908 students. Some 10,184 students and 6,548 students from Narok and Kilifi counties are also yet to join high school. Other counties where thousands of KCP candidates are still at home include Uasin Gishu, Trans Nzoia, Meru, and Kisumu. Of the total missing students, 55,442 are boys and 64,925 are girls. Kericho has the highest number of students who went to pursue vocational courses, followed by Kitui, Migori, and Kilifi. Turkana, Samburu, Mombasa, Kakamega, and Laikipia counties are leading in transitioning students from primary school to secondary schools. Surprisingly, most of the counties in northeastern have recorded high transition rates. In Wajir, more than 98% of 2023 KCP candidates have joined Form 1, same as Bandera, while Marsabit has recorded a transition rate of 97%. In Coast Region, 35% of Form 1 students are yet to join Form 1. It is expected that majority failed due to lack of school fees. During his recent visit to the region, Principal Secretary Bello Kipsang attributed the low transition rate to poverty and high cases of early pregnancy resulting from discourse in funerals and tourism activities along the beaches. He also cautioned the leaders who have been issuing bursaries in a discriminatory way.
It's happening across the country in terms of making sure that 100% transition is achieved. That is very important. And that other than the 100% transition, that there is retention of these children in schools, so that we don't only take them to school and we fail to make sure that they are retained.
Building Waliaula, KTN News.
What do you make of such figures? Because to me, this is more disturbing than any news that I listen to. Because if you take away the ability to educate a population, then you are killing the intellect part. You are killing a whole generation that ought to replace us. Quality doctors, quality lawyers, the next president, why make it so hard? What do you make of such figures?
First of all, I think the figures are not comprehensive because I've not seen what they say is the enrollment rate in Mount Kenya region. I've not seen any of the counties mentioned there. I don't know why, but it would have been interesting also to get to know, because they have said the transition rates in Northeastern are very high, which is good. But I can also say that it has to do with the bursary, because the people of Northeastern have no problem with education funds, really. They have too much. They were given, this CDF was distributed equally, regardless of how many children you are going to take care of. So you find a whole constituency with 5,000 students is given the same with Juja, which has to care of over 100,000. So I'll not be surprised. That's why I'm saying it would have been interesting to see how the Mount Kenya counties are coping in terms of transition. That said, I will say that it's a serious matter, that quite huge numbers now are going without fees. And it is a retrogression because this is a story that had almost faded from the Kenyan public, in the sense that the government had taken care of education almost adequately. We could not hear such huge numbers during Magoha's time. I think either the government was better coordinated in terms of giving bursaries and following up on those children who failed to attend school. But every government has its own way of doing things. This one seems to have their own way, which now has resulted in what we are having. Because for the first time, I can tell you this for a fact, that even going to college, this chai, which villages do make for children going to the university to
The
collect
Harambe.
funds, they have come back. Something that was almost forgotten in the villages is now come back. You are seeing children crying through the mainstream and social media for assistance, and then it is made look like it's favor that is being done to them by the readers, that I will educate this child up to Form 4. I will educate. The whole problem has to do with how the funding is structured. Because right now, you are aware that every child is given a number when you register school. What is this obsession of having an MP carrying bursaries for his constituency? Why not have a department within the Ministry of Education cascading downwards to follow up on children who need to be assisted to finish their education? Because that would be a better way than the indignity of having people line up for hours on end waiting for somebody like Jesus Christ who is coming back. Yet it is the same money that has been collected from the same taxpayers. I think it is time the public started demanding respect, because honestly, there are better ways of following up and paying for the fees of these children. And if a policy is made that is uniform across the country, it doesn't matter whether you are in Karachuonyo or you are in Wajia or in Mwatate. If it is a payment of your allocation, it is done seamlessly through a structured manner. So that removes that possibility of even politicians misusing the bursary funds, because you have heard the PS saying that some are giving bursaries to those who voted for them only, the shareholders. You see now, when things are done that way, they end up creating the situation that we have right now. Yeah, so I hope the government will take its responsibility very seriously and make sure that those children who are over 130,000 go and occupy their space in education institutions where they have been called.
Fantastic. Now, I wish to ask you to give me your closing remarks. At least today, you become the lucky one. You have never been part of the closing remark. So help me have you say your closing remarks, then I will wrap up.
Well, in my closing remarks, I can only say that we are at the center of a very hard time. Perhaps the last time this country was in the kind of situation we are in, and the confusion, the hopelessness, was sometime in the 1990s. And desperate situation where even hope is lost. You know what keeps people moving is hope. Hope that you can start something even small and then grow into something big. Today, even starting something small has become difficult, and that now kills hope of very many youths, particularly. So we have a fight in our hands for the very survival of this country. And unfortunately, when things start taking the route of defying the constitution and the law, then it sets a bad precedent that can finally break the country. So
all right,
it is an appeal
mm-hmm.
to those in administration to adhere to the rule of law. It may look inconvenient to them, but they must know that the moment the public knows that the laws are no longer applicable or they just mean nothing, the people could go for them. So the only safeguard they have is to keep the narrow path of the law. And for the Kenyans, we got to keep pushing, because governments are not known to be charitable organizations. In fact, most governments do things because they are pushed. Unfortunately, right now, what we have is a compromised parliamentarians who seem to be contented with the situation on both sides of the defined. So the public, the civil society, has no option but to occupy that space of pushing matters of public interest. You are also aware that the government is keen on weakening the media, especially the mainstream media. They have now said that they will give advertisement to only one newspaper for whatever reason, but that is the implication is that they would want the others to weaken. That in itself is a very serious matter, especially in terms of democratization of our country, because media is a key pillar of democracy. So we have a fight in our hands, and if we let the ball drop, then we'll go back to where we were in the Nyayo era. Thank you.
All right, beautiful Guru, asante sana kwa your wonderful submissions. I know we will be getting more of you and more of many other submissions from most of all of us, if not all of us. Asante sana Bwana Guru. I am so grateful. All right. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant night. I'm sure you would wish to take a nap and all, but I wish you a good week and see you very soon. Thank you so much, Bwana Guru. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, asanteni sana, because when we started at a high, we end it at a high. You guys are just but an amazing crew. You guys are amazing, and allow me to thank you more especially you ambayo umekea mpaka saizi ukitutazama, asante sana. I see the numbers are still high. I know the feeling, show inaisha. But we have another one in the morning. Please wait for that. We will be reviewing the news papers and equally be reviewing what has been happening in as far as news in Kenya is concerned. Thank you so very much. You guys are a wonderful people. Yeah. Don't worry, it happens. Tunakosananga, tunapendana, but by the end of the day, ni kwa sababu we love our country, right? We love our country. Both Kenya Kwanza, Azimio, no one made a mistake. Yeah. they did their democratic right, voted. Some lost, some won, some agreed, some disagreed, some were aggrieved. But whatever happened, we must move on as a country. And that's why we make such shows, so that we have divergency, so that you can speak your heart, speak your mind. Yeah. I might not like it, but hey, I have to live with it. All right. And that's why I appreciate all of you, both kwa comment section, kwa viewers, kwa panelists, everyone. I have no beef with anybody, because you guys are just but amazing. You make it happen somehow. You make it happen. All right. Thank you, watu wote. It is always about you. We love listening to you. Personally, I do, because you guys listen to us. Asante sana. Imagine this late, I still have over 40. I'm ending the show with over 40. At times I end with over 50. Still watch. I know the feeling, but the show has to come to an end. But we do it again tomorrow morning, and same time, same place tomorrow at 10 p.m. East African time. All right, watu wote ambao mnatazama from wherever place you're joining us, thank you very much. And equally allow me to thank another special group, the comment section. You guys are amazing. Asante sana Bwana Geoffrey Ruto, asante sana Remos Yegon, asante Josh, asante Geoffrey Kibwaro, and many ambao comment. Akina Goodyear, you guys, oh my goodness. If I could ever repay, I would repay. I would. But allow me just to say thank you for even typing. You know, you took time to type. Thank you very, very much. Your sentiments, we appreciate. Personally, I do. They can be controversial. They can cause some eyebrows. They can cause some they can be ill intent. But by the end of the day, hey, asante sana, right? I appreciate all this. Nikki Bao, I cannot even read all of them. Clavins Carita, asante sana. Geoffrey Ruto, asante. Goodyear, asante. Ramos, asante. Nyayo 40, asante. Beast Mode Reloaded, asante sana. He Who Sees, asante sana. My goodness, this they were many. Hassan Mwatia, asante sana. I might not even read all of them. I might not even read your name, but the fact that you wrote, asante. All right. See you tomorrow. Please subscribe to Afrique 24. Here the conversations never really stop. And again, remember on Friday we have another good show that started this Friday. Please stick around. And for you to know it, please, Ebu Ingapo Afrique, Tafuta Show Friday. Tafuta Show Friday. It wasn't in Mtembei. It wasn't in most of these other platforms. It was in Afrique. And where? Atacha nisimwage. Let me not be a spoiler. Ingia huko ndani. Asante sana. Kesho ni paper review. Naona tayari akina Goodyear wanangojea. We will have a good one. Please subscribe to Afrique 24. Make it your #1 channel. Bye bye. See you tomorrow. I love you guys endlessly. Thank you, my panelists, Akina Julia, Kenya Rebel, Mr. G, Mr. Alex, Mr. Guru. Oh my goodness, let me not forget any of you, but thank you to sana. Asante, Penyagaka, asante sana. Asante all of you. You guys are just but amazing, eh? And to those who make this show possible, the support staff, the management, everybody, yeah, the channels that we are affiliated to, Mtembei, Leo, Kenya Digital, Kenya 4, you know, Afrique pia, zote, Leo TV, zote, asante sana. Let's do this tomorrow. Bye, 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 bye. Allow me to leave you kama kawa with a nice one. I don't know kama jana mlipewa, lakini yeah, jana ilikuwa mrefu, mlichapa masaa 8. All right, I have to end this because we have to be in another one in the morning. So allow me to take a breather for now, but kesho, kama kawa, kama dawa. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. God bless you. I love you guys. Bye bye.
Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri. Tangu Kenya iwe huru. Mwaka wa 60 umefika. Tangu Kenya iwe huru. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Mbio Kenya yaenda mbele, waende Tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu, Kenya tunayoipenda, Kenya nchi tunayoipenda, Kenya nchi tunayoipenda. Twajivunia sana tukijiita wa Kenya, nchi yenye baraka, Kenya nchi yenye baraka, Kenya nchi yenye baraka. Kenya makao yetu ni nchi ya kupendeza, kamwe hatutaiacha, kamwe Kenya hatutaiacha, kamwe Kenya hatutaiacha. Mwenzangu, Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima. Kenya kipenzi chetu, nchi yenye upendo, hatutaacha.